Hello everyone, it's Top Romance here. Before watching the video, please take 3 seconds to like the video and subscribe to the channel. This will give me more motivation to make even more high-quality videos. Thank you very much. I wish you a wonderful day. The story opens with the image of Lin Ziyun standing between the precipice of life and death. Thorns of vengeance wrapped around her bones, binding her tightly. A messenger stepping out from hell. I have nothing left. Gigi, what must I do to avenge this? Lin Ziyun, at the moment she thought she would be suffocated by the thorns of vengeance, saw her older sister suddenly appear in the distance. It was Lin Shi, in her hazy state. Lin Shi seemed to be stepping closer, comforting her. Zin, don't be afraid. From today onwards, you'll have the memories of both of us. You or me. From now on, there's nothing we can't do. From that moment, their 2 souls were swapped. Lin Ziyun, who was thought to have died in the car accident, was revived, assuming the identity of her imprisoned older sister, Lin Shi. Lin Ziyun vowed to herself, I will use Lin Shi's body to break through this deadlock. So a week later, outside the prison walls, Lin Ziyun, under the guise of Lin Shi, was finally released. The warden, after seeing her off, didn't forget to advise, after you go out, remember to be a good person. She immediately nodded, I know. With those words, she turned and walked away, beginning her journey of revenge. Just then, a yellow Ferrari screeched to a halt in front of her. The man inside, lowering the window, greeted her enthusiastically. Lin Shi, long time no see. Lin Ziyun, at first, was taken aback. Who is this person? She wondered. Then she tried to search through Lin Shi's memories. Unable to contain himself, the man stepped out of the car and asked, Are you disappointed your boyfriend didn't come to pick you up? Ah, I remember now, she realized. This man is Qin Jiayang. He's Lin Shi's pursuer, and one of the more persistent ones. A scion of the Qin family, influential in both military and political circles in Jingqing. Lin Ziyun, now remembering, smiled and walked towards him, replying, Jiayang, let's go. Immediately after, the car sped off, leaving the prison that had unjustly confined Lin Shi further and further behind. Sitting in the car, Lin Ziyun gripped the seatbelt tightly. She seemed slightly frightened by the speed. Qin Jiayang, sensing something was amiss, slowed down a bit. Then he began reminiscing about the past with her sister. Before, you would have complained I was driving too slow. Lin Ziyun broke out in a cold sweat, thinking to herself, she was a speed demon. This is nothing. But she couldn't reveal her true identity yet, as she still didn't know who to trust. Regaining her composure, she turned to Qin Jiayang with a smile. Jiayang, thank you for taking care of everything for me these past 3 years. Qin Jiayang glanced at the rearview mirror and chuckled softly. Then he continued, reminding her, do you remember what I told you? You must insist that this incident was an accident, understand? Lin Ziyun nodded vigorously, readily agreeing. Of course I remember. It's fortunate that young Master Qin was there to protect me. Otherwise, I wouldn't have gotten away with just 3 years. Ha ha ha. Then, a moment later, her expression turned serious as she got straight to the point. Have you perhaps found any clues? Qin Jiayang furrowed his brow slightly and nodded. Someone tampered with your car. Lin Ziyun's eyes widened in astonishment. The realization hit her like a jolt. Now she understood. If it weren't for Lin Shi's driving skills, there's no way the accident would have happened the way it did. Anxiety gnawed at her. Did you find the person responsible? She pressed Qin Jiayang. Qin Jiayang shook his head helplessly. He was very thorough. He didn't leave a trace. He trailed off, then abruptly slammed on the brakes without warning. Lin Ziyun's mind raced. Suspicion bloomed. Couldn't it have been someone from the Lin family? She ventured. Qin Jiayang nodded immediately. Exactly. That's why it's so difficult to narrow down the suspects. Everyone in the Lin family has a motive against you. A memory surfaced, unbidden and chilling. Lin Ziyun recalled a moment from her sister's imprisonment. When I was in prison, she began, I overheard the people who were hurting me mention my younger sister. They said that if I didn't die, they wouldn't give up. Maybe the car accident is connected to her. We should investigate her. Surprise flickered across Qin Jiayang's face. He started to speak, then stopped himself. Lin Shiyu, but perhaps it's best not to say anything. It seems those 3 years in prison have changed her. Their car sped onward, oblivious to the vehicle trailing discreetly behind them. Qin Jiayang seemed to shake off his earlier concern. He feigned a cough and changed his subject. Well, now, he began. I, the eldest son of the Qin family, have done so much for you. How do you plan to repay me? I wouldn't ask for much. Just your body in return would suffice. This Qin Jiayong was truly a scoundrel without equal. Lin Ziyun's voice was cold, a warning laced within her words. Qin Jiayong, are you tired of living? You know what your grandfather's temper is like. Qin Jiayong let out an awkward laugh, trying to play it off as a joke. Ha, I'm terrified of him truly. As if on cue, his grandfather called. The moment Qin Jiayong answered, a torrent of abuse erupted from the other end of the line. You useless brat. How carousing again are you? It's all because of that damn Lin Shi. Get back here this instant. If you don't, report to the Southwest Military District tomorrow. Just a few sentences of berating, and Qin Jiayong was practically sobbing by the roadside. A man like this, how could he possibly be worthy of protecting any woman? Quietly, Lin Ziyun slipped out of the car. She stepped out onto the street and hailed a cab. As she did, the car that had been tailing them finally came to a stop. Lin Ziyun politely approached the car and tapped lightly on the window. The window slowly lowered, revealing a man whose striking features caught her off guard. She spoke first. Handsome, you've been following me for a while now. Mind giving me a lift? The man studied her with a cool gaze before replying, his voice impassive. Get in. Meanwhile, Qin Jiayong, having just finished his phone call, saw Lin Shi in another car speeding past him. He stood there dumbfounded. A moment later, the man's car traveled a short distance before pulling over to the side of the road. He began to question her. How did you know I was following you? Lin Ziyun, in Lin Shi's guise, replied with just 2 words, intuition. However, the truth was she had noticed his car back when she was still at the prison, talking with Qin Jiayong. Such blatant tailing. How could anyone not notice? The man fell silent for a moment. It was a long while before he spoke again. You've got guts, getting into a stranger's car. Lin Ziyun, quick-witted, retorted, you've got guts too, offering a stranger a ride. Just then, her stomach growled audibly. It seemed she hadn't eaten anything all day. So, Lin Ziyun turned and asked him directly, have you eaten yet? He immediately shook his head. No. Therefore, Ziyun boldly suggested, then, would you mind treating me to a meal? From beginning to end, the man had maintained a cold demeanor towards her. So, his answer was probably not unexpected. He replied curtly, why should I treat you to a meal? I don't even know you. So, Lin Ziyun directly offered to introduce herself. I'm Lin Shi. The man thought for a moment before introducing himself with just 3 words, Gu Jingyan. He then shook her hand. However, the name startled Lin Ziyun. Gu Jingyan. She searched Lin Shi's memories. He was the eldest grandson of the Gu family, one of the 5 great families of Jingxing, a legendary figure who controlled the financial world of Wall Street, the youngest CEO of the Gu Corporation. So it was him. Why was he following Lin Shi? Could he be connected to the car accident? It seemed she needed to take this opportunity to probe him. So, she reiterated her earlier request, hoping to learn more about this man. Now that we're acquainted, will you treat me to a meal? Continuing the conversation after the introductions, Gu Jingyan took her to a restaurant called Dyson for dinner. As they entered, the staff greeted them. Welcome. Mr. Gu, this way, please. This is the table you reserved. Gu Jingyan immediately requested of the staff, add another chair. The person I'm waiting for hasn't arrived yet. Later, as they sat at the table, Lin Ziyun asked curiously, you have an appointment. Gu Jingyan, looking over the menu, casually nodded. Yes. Don't wait for her. Let's eat first. Just a few minutes later, the food arrived. They began to eat together, a meal between 2 strangers. At this moment, Lin Ziyun noticed another sports car pull up outside. The car looked familiar. Her sudden pause in eating caught Gu Jingyan's attention. He immediately asked, what's wrong? Lin Ziyun paused for a moment, then smiled casually. Nothing. However, she had already recognized it as Lin Shi's car. She searched Lin Shi's memories again. The woman with the golden hair and jade-green wool dress who just stepped out of the car was Lin Wan, the second daughter of the Lin Corporation, one of the 5 great families of Jingxing. It seems the person you're waiting for is also someone I know, waiting for me at the prison gates, and now having a date with Lin Wan here. What is Gu Jingyan up to? Lin Ziyun pondered silently as she began to try the steak. Just then, the doorbell rang. Lin Wan strode in, radiating arrogance. The staff greeted her warmly and led her to the table. Welcome. Upon seeing Gu Jingyan, Lin Wan excitedly waved. Jingyan, I'm so sorry to keep you waiting. Her amiable demeanor starkly contrasted with Gu Jingyan's consistent coldness. He didn't even glance in her direction. Then, noticing Lin Ziyun's presence, Lin Wan began her taunts. Turning to Gu Jingyan, she asked mockingly, playing the Good Samaritan, are we? Lin Ziyun, unable to stomach it any longer, stopped eating. Wiping her mouth, she retorted, you're so rich, yet you still drive that death trap of a car. Can't bear to part with it. Lin Wan, enraged, snapped, "Nonsense." But then a thought struck her. Wait, how does she know about that? Could it be Lin Shi? But she should be dead, rotting in prison. How? Lin Wan stared, dumbfounded, disbelief warring with shock. Lin Wan demanded, "How are you here, Lin Shi?" Lin Ziyun, a predatory gleam in her eyes, rose and approached Lin Wan, each step a hammer blow against her composure. "Disappointed to see me alive. Thought I'd be conveniently dead in prison." Because of the accident, Lin Wan whispered, terror gripping her. Stumbling backward, she collided with a waiter carrying a tray of food. Food and drinks cascaded over her. Utterly humiliated, Lin Wan sprawled on the floor, covered in food. Lin Ziyun looked down at her with detached amusement. "No need to kneel, little sister. It's just me. Jingyan, help me," Lin Wan pleaded. Gu Jingyan spared her a single glance. "Go change your clothes." Humiliated and furious, Lin Wan turned to leave, throwing back a desperate, "I'll be right back." "Don't bother. I have a meeting." Gu Jingyan's dismissal was brutal. Minutes later, after the commotion subsided, the meal resumed. Lin Ziyun, a spark of excitement in her eyes, addressed Gu Jingyan directly. "CEO Gu, orchestrating a scene like that. I assume you have something to say to me." Swirling his wine, Gu Jingyan replied, "Would you like to hear a story?" And so he began. "Years ago, in Rongqing, during a downpour, I was injured, badly. I stumbled through the streets, bleeding. After a few steps, I collapsed. When I woke up, a girl was leaning over me, urging me to wake up. She wore a necklace, a gold dragon pendant, carved from jade. When I regained consciousness, she was gone. Based on the information she left, I learned her name was Lin Wan." But he trailed off. Lin Ziyun, quick to connect the dots, finished his sentence. "You don't think she was the one who saved you?" Gu Jingyan then produced the jade dragon pendant necklace from that year and continued his story. "Her strange reaction to this pendant made me suspicious. Until later, that day at the company office, one of my trusted aides rushed in, frantically shouting, 'Sir, something's happened with the Lin family. News has broken that the illegitimate daughter was killed by the legitimate one.' Utterly unbelievable. I immediately grabbed the newspaper to see for myself. She truly was the girl who saved me all those years ago." My aide continued to brief me on the situation. "Are you referring to the one who's alive or the one who's dead?" "The survivor is the eldest daughter of the Lin family, Lin Shi. The deceased is Lin Ziyun, the illegitimate daughter." At this point, my hands holding the newspaper began to tremble uncontrollably. I threw the paper down on the desk. Staring out the sky, I thought, could it be? Lin Ziyun was the one who saved me. Returning to the present, Gu Jingyan continued, "I have no feelings for Lin Wan. As for why I haven't broken things off," Lin Ziyun, taking the jade pendant in her hand, ventured guess. "You want to find Lin Ziyun's killer, through her, through me. Just now, you arranged for me and Lin Wan to meet to confirm my identity. Now you know I'm the one who killed Lin Ziyun. CEO Gu, what are you going to do?" "Avenge her." However, contrary to her expectations, Gu Jingyan simply stated coldly, "I know you're not the killer. I investigated the car accident. While I couldn't determine the exact cause, whether it's your relationship with her or business interests, you had no reason to kill her. You mentioned earlier that someone wanted you dead in prison. This further solidified my belief." Lin Ziyun continued his thought. "So, you want to find out who the real killer is? If our goals align, why don't we cooperate?" Exactly what I had in mind. With that, they clinked glasses. From that moment on, a deal was struck. Sometime later, after finishing their meal at the restaurant, sitting in the car, Lin Ziyun suddenly recalled some events from the past. Years ago, she knelt, weeping in the pouring rain, pleading with Aunt Lin, "I beg you, Aunt. I'm still a member of the Lin family. For so many years, my mother and I haven't asked for a single penny from the Lin family. Now, my mother is seriously ill and needs money. I beg you, please save her." But the elegantly dressed woman standing before her, looking down at Lin Ziyun's pathetic pleas, simply scoffed money. "Your mother is a lowly servant. A servant's daughter has no right to consider herself part of the Lin family." Having said that, Lin Ziyun knew there was nothing more she could do. Later, as the rain subsided and the sky cleared, she dragged her weary feet through the bustling streets. Lin Ziyun looked at the few coins in her hand and berated herself. This meager amount wouldn't even be enough for her mother's medical examination. Suddenly, she stumbled over something, nearly falling to the ground. She turned abruptly to see what it was. To her shock, it was a body, and that body belonged to Gu Jingyan, the man who was now helping her. Panicked and trembling, she screamed, "Someone's dead. Help!" But the man, gasping for breath, struggled to lift his head, pleading for help. Lin Ziyun quickly realized he was still alive, and so the scene from Gu Jingyan's memory unfolded. She repeatedly tried to rouse him. At that moment, Lin Ziyun truly didn't know what to do. Just screaming was useless. What could she do? If this continued, he would die. So, in the final decisive moment, she managed to call for an ambulance and get him to the hospital. Back in the present, she thought, it's truly unexpected that in this world, there's still someone who remembers me, who cares about whether I live or die. Gu Jingyan, thank you. Lin Ziyun, inhabiting Lin Shi's body, silently observed the man's face from a corner. She silently thanked him for taking the trouble to investigate her death all those years ago. It's just that, although she saved him, her mother died because of them. This painful memory was interrupted by Gu Jingyan's voice. He asked her, with a serious tone, where she was going. He was very serious, wanting to know where she was headed. Lin Ziyun immediately suggested, "Take me back to the Lin family home. I have to reclaim what belongs to me." By this point, the car was nearing the gates of the Lin family estate. Lin Ziyun, with a hint of displeasure, frankly admitted, "If I didn't have something very important there, I wouldn't go back, no matter what." Gu Jingyan suddenly pulled a card from his suit pocket and, not forgetting to advise her, said, "If you need anything, you can call me." Lin Ziyun silently looked at the card, then simply replied, "Mr. Gu, I think we'll meet again soon." With that, she immediately stepped out of the car. He silently observed the Lin family home, the place that buried so many of her painful memories. Lin Ziyun really wanted to say, "Lin family, I'm finally back." A few minutes later, the moment she stepped into the grand hall, the butler excitedly announced, "Sir, Madam, eldest Miss is back." Lin Ziyun immediately greeted the 4 members of the Lin family. "Oh, everyone's here, huh? Where's my lovely younger daughter? It seems like we're missing someone at the dinner table." As soon as he saw her, Lin Laojia, furious, slammed his hand on the table and berated her. "You've indulged in your depravity, and now you're a murderer. You've completely disgraced the Lin family. Why have you even come back?" It turned out he was Lin Yiheng, the current head of the Lin family, CEO of the Lin Corporation, and the father of Lin Shi and herself. Seeing her husband's extreme anger, Fu Runa, originally the mistress, now Lin Yiheng's official wife, stepmother to Lin Shi and Lin Wan's biological mother, immediately approached him, gently took his arm, and tried to soothe him. "Yiheng, calm down, please. Say less." At this moment, Lin Ziyuan, the 3rd miss of the Lin family, also chimed in. "Eldest sister, you didn't even tell anyone you were coming back. No one knew." Then, Fu Runa, the stepmother, suddenly approached Lin Ziyun, pretending to care, and asked, "Yes, she, you didn't say a word." Lin Ziyun, disgusted by her putting an arm around her shoulder, without a word, abruptly shrugged her arm off in front of everyone. Then, with a chuckle, she replied, "What's wrong? I didn't tell anyone." Just then, Lin Wan, standing upstairs, saw her and started to provoke Lin Shi. "You still have the nerve to come home. Couldn't seduce young Master Gu, so you came back to cry and complain. Why don't you take a look in the mirror?" Before she could finish, Lin Ziyun quickly took out the business card she had just received from Gu Jingyan and flaunted it in front of her, unlike someone who rushed over but didn't even have a car to go back in. This scene truly infuriated Lin Wan to the point she nearly fell down the stairs. Before Lin Wan had a chance to retort, Lin Ziyun immediately delivered a few more fatal blows. "Thinking about it, this isn't my little sister's fault. Whose fault is it then? Who lets their daughter drive a car that kills someone to meet her boyfriend?" As soon as these words were uttered, the entire Lin family was stunned into silence. Lin Ziyun, inhabiting Lin Shi's body, with such a cool demeanor, was truly eating without leaving a single crumb behind. Fu Runa, her tone no longer as firm as before, immediately approached Lin Ziyun, wanting to explain. "That car, Wanyan was just borrowing it. Let's not talk about this anymore. It's good that you're home safe." Her hands gently stroked Lin Ziyun's hair, but in reality, they were trembling. Yet, Lin Ziyun wasn't about to let them off the hook. She calmly walked, step by step, towards the Lin family chauffeur, who was standing rigidly nearby. She simply smiled, and the chauffeur began to tremble, beads of sweat forming on his forehead. It seemed a mere probe was enough to make him this nervous. She couldn't hold back any longer. Later that evening, at the Lin family home, Lin Ziyun, dressed in a silk gown, leisurely sipped her wine while chatting on the phone with Qin Juyong. She asked, "Have you found anything yet?" Qin Juyong, while working on his computer, replied, "It was Li Feng, the Lin family chauffeur. I retrieved the Lin family surveillance footage. Finally saw him in the corner of the screen." Hearing the name Li Feng, Lin Ziyun paused slightly. Then she continued, "So, it's an old acquaintance. I remember he's the one Fu Ru Na brought from her hometown." "I understand. Thank you." After hanging up, Lin Ziyun calmed herself and thought for a moment. Fu Ru Na is definitely involved. If she doesn't confess, I'll dig it out piece by piece, piece by piece. Just then, another call came in. The computer screen displayed a message. "Chun Sheng is inviting you to a video call." Lin Ziyun suddenly remembered. After searching through Lin Shi's memories, she realized Chun Sheng was Lin Shi's grandfather, the head of Carry Company in America, a legendary figure known as the Goldschmidt of America. Although he was Lin Shi's grandfather, he never looked down on her background. He cared for her and loved her just as much as he did Lin Shi. However, due to their special circumstances, she hadn't dared to contact him. So, she hesitated to answer. Finally, she picked up but remained silent, until Chun Sheng, unable to bear the silence any longer, urged, my child, why aren't you saying anything?" Lin Ziyun finally choked out, "Grandpa." Chun Sheng immediately said, "My child, look up." Lin Ziyun, in Lin Shi's body, finally looked directly at the screen to speak with him. Tears streamed down her face as she sobbed. "Grandpa, I thought you didn't want me anymore." Chun Sheng tried to comfort her, explaining, "My child, don't cry. It's all my fault. I was angry with you back then for not making progress. You're my only granddaughter. I love you dearly. How could I not want you? What happened? Why were you in prison?" Lin Ziyun gripped the arms of the chair, then took a deep breath and bravely told her grandfather the truth. "Someone framed me. Not just the car accident, but even Ziyun's death. I suspect there was a premeditated plot behind it. Moreover, I've just learned that this matter is related to someone in the Lin family." Her grandfather, Chun Sheng, was silent for a moment before speaking. "That girl, Ziyun, I remember when your mother passed away, she left a will with me." Hearing this, Lin Ziyun suddenly remembered. "My aunt's death, Aunt Chin's inheritance." Her grandfather continued, "When you turn 18, all of Carry Company's shares in the Lin Corporation will be transferred to you." Lin Ziyun exclaimed in surprise, "Does Lin Yiheng know about this too?" Her grandfather nodded in confirmation. "Yes, Lin Yiheng knows about the inheritance. He's tried many times to have Lin Wan retrieve it. Perhaps your situation is related to their desire to seize the assets. Furthermore, I've recently discovered that your card may have been used fraudulently." At this moment, Lin Ziyun finally understood everything. So that's how it is. Lin Wan has always been a knife hidden beneath Fu Ru Na's benevolent facade. If Lin Yiheng wanted Lin Wan to take these things, it must have been at Fu Ru Na's instigation. She then fell silent, pondering for a moment. It seems this inheritance from Aunt Chun is the reason they targeted my aunt. Just then, her grandfather suddenly looked intently at the screen and called out, "Kiddo." Lin Ziyun startled, snapping back to attention. She had been so engrossed in her thoughts that she hadn't noticed her grandfather. He continued, advising her, "Travel broadens the mind. Now I see you've grown up. You're mature, steady, and more thoughtful now." Hearing him say this, Lin Ziyun suddenly felt a pang of guilt. "He's not seeing through me, is he?" She thought nervously. He then continued, "You're finally starting to look like a human being. Why did this brat tell me your face always looks like a ghost drawing charms?" As he said this, the grandson standing behind him shook his head repeatedly in denial. No, I didn't. It wasn't me. I didn't say that." It turned out he was referring to Lin Shi's heavy makeup. Upon hearing these words, Lin Ziyun immediately questioned her younger brother in a stern voice, Lian Tun. As soon as he heard his name, Lian Tun excitedly ran to the screen, waving enthusiastically. "Sis, there are always scoundrels trying to harm you. Why don't you come to America?" Chun Sheng immediately chuckled and nodded in agreement. "That's a good idea. It'll be safe, and you can keep me company while I raise my fish." Ha ha. A while later, after finishing her conversation with her grandfather, Lin Ziyun closed her laptop and collapsed onto the bed. "Thank goodness I managed to conceal my identity." But Lin Shi's lively personality isn't easy to imitate. Scene change. Meanwhile, at the Gu family residence, Gu Jingyan sat alone in his study. He quietly examined Lin Shi's old photos. In one photo, Lin Shi was posing next to a race car. Gu Jingyan casually commented, "A wild girl, a racer, huh?" He suddenly paused, realizing something was amiss. A professional racer like that. How could she mistake the brake pedal for the accelerator? The next morning, in the Lin family dining room, Lin Wan saw Lin Yiheng and his two daughters already seated at the dining table. Lin Ziyun, standing upstairs, casually remarked, "Oh, having breakfast. No one called me. How could you possibly forget my share?" Hearing her, Lin Wan, sipping her morning coffee, sneered, her words dripping with disdain. The Lin family has plenty of money. It's not lacking a single breakfast. But are you worthy? Lin Wan's face, whenever she looked at Lin Ziyun and Lin Shi's body, was a constant mask of animosity, her muscles never relaxing. Lin Yiheng, Lin Shi's father, also reading the newspaper, added his own barbed comment, "Needing someone to wake you up. You're becoming more and more unruly." Just then, Fu Runa arrived at the dining table with a tray holding 2 cups of coffee and feigned concern towards her youngest daughter, Ziyuan. "Ziyuan, I asked you to wake your sister. Why did you forget?" Ziyuan was taken aback. "When did mother ask me to wake Lin Shi?" She thought, just as she was about to deny it. "Mother, you didn't ask me." Fu Runa shot her a look so sharp it made her heart jump. Then, turning back to Lin Ziyun with a saccharine smile, Fu Runa explained, Ziyuan is still young and doesn't understand things. Don't be upset with her." Lin Ziyun slowly and deliberately descended the stairs, her voice nonchalant. The Lin Corporation has so much money, yet they can't afford a new car for their beloved daughter. It seems the Lin family's finances are dwindling under father's management. This was a jab she'd been repeating, finally driving Lin Yiheng to abandon his newspaper. He stood up abruptly, his voice booming with anger. "What's with your attitude? 3 years in prison and you haven't learned a thing. This behavior of yours." Suddenly, he was interrupted by a coughing fit. Fu Runa quickly moved to his side, rubbing his back soothingly. Unfazed, Lin Ziyun continued to provoke him. "What did I do? You should be addressing the person who taught me, the one right beside you. Why are you blaming me?" Lin Wan, struck by the pointed remark, jumped to her feet. "Are you blaming my mother? All these years, my mother has treated you with utmost kindness. You clearly have someone who birthed you, but no one to raise you, yet you blame others." Lin Yiheng, his hand trembling, pointed at Lin Ziyun and roared, "Get out. Get out of my house right now. Get out of the Lin family." It seemed Lin Shi's return home wasn't going smoothly, but this was all within Lin Ziyun's calculations. Lin Ziyun walked past him, not without a parting shot. "Don't worry, I'll get my things and leave. I don't want to stay in this filthy place a second longer. Oh, by the way, Annie, my bank card is missing. Do you know where it is?" Lin Wan, startled, stammered, "How would I know where your raggedy card is?" Lin Ziyun's smirk widened. Leaning in close to Lin Wan, she whispered, "You don't know. Or you don't want to return it." Lin Wan, speechless, could only stutter, "I don't." Lin Ziyun didn't press further, merely suggesting, "Think it over and let me know." Immediately, Lin Wan ran into her mother's arms, sobbing, "I don't know anything." Fu Runa, stroking her daughter's hair, soothed her, "If you don't know, then you don't know." But inside, Lin Wan seethed with resentment, cursing Lin Shi. "Why take his mine? I'll never get it back." A while later, Lin Ziyun, having successfully hitched a ride with a truck driver, arrived at the cemetery, the place of her own burial. "This is fine. Thank you for the ride. Don't mention it. Have a good day. You too." Clutching a bouquet of white lilies, she walked towards her own grave. She knelt before her own grave, a thought echoing in her mind. "I must be the only person in the world to ever visit their own gravesite." The thought hardened her gaze, filling it with a sharp, cold determination. Lin Ziyun made a silent vow. "What you owe me, I will take back. Every last bit." The flickering flames of the burning joss paper before the tombstone seemed to symbolize the burning thread of vengeance, binding the fates of 2 souls. Darkness ignited with the resolve for revenge. A long while later, after paying her respects to her own grave and the spirit of her sister, Lin Ziyun emerged onto the road to hail a taxi. But strangely, nearly an hour passed without a single car. It seemed she'd have to rely on her own 2 feet. A glance at her phone's map revealed a disheartening distance back to the Lin family home. Lin Ziyun couldn't help but cry out in frustration. No way, it wasn't this far on the way here. Wait a minute. She suddenly began rummaging through her coat pockets. Finally, she pulled out Gu Jingyan's business card, the one he'd given her yesterday. Thank goodness I haven't done laundry yet. Saved. Meanwhile, Gu Jingyan was driving when an unfamiliar number flashed across his phone screen. A strange number calling my personal line. Odd. He hesitated, considering whether to answer. Then he remembered giving his car to Lin Ziyun, or rather, Lin Shi, yesterday, telling her to contact him if she needed anything. Could be her. Deciding to take the chance, Gu Jingyan answered the call. As he suspected, a sweet voice greeted him from the other end. Mr. Gu, it's Lin Shi. Are you free to pick me up? Gu Jingyan's voice was cool and collected. Send me your location and wait there. This is a good opportunity to probe her a bit. Lin Ziyun, relieved, quickly thanked him. Oh, thank you so much. I'm at Wan'an Cemetery. A slight smirk played on Gu Jingyan's lips. He pressed the accelerator, speeding toward Wan'an Cemetery. Meanwhile, Lin Ziyun waited, feeling like she'd been there long enough to grow roots. Lost in thought, she finally saw Gu Jingyan's car arrive. He gestured for her to get in. As the door slammed shut, Lin Ziyun noticed Gu Jingyan was breathing heavily, sweat beading on his forehead. She ventured a guess. She'd heard his panting breaths over the phone. Maybe he was in the middle of something, and I interrupted. Lin Ziyun assumed he'd been enjoying the company of a beautiful woman, and she'd disturbed him. While she was still lost in these musings, Gu Jingyan suddenly barked at her seatbelt. Startled, Lin Ziyun quickly buckled up. Then, she decided to be bold. Mr. Gu, where are you coming from? Gu Jingyan, a mocking tone in his voice, answered as he floored the gas pedal, the car lurching forward. I took valuable time out of my day, especially for you. Is he trying to kill us with this speed? As Lin Ziyun cried out in alarm, what's happening? Before she could process the situation, several cars appeared behind them, in hot pursuit. And then, gunshots. A bullet whizzed past her face, so close she could feel the wind of its passage. She had nearly died. Lin Ziyun's face had drained of all color. She whimpered, pleading with Gu Jingyan for mercy, her voice laced with terror. I must have been possessed to get into this car. The chase, punctuated by the terrifying crackle of gunfire, continued. Gu Jingyan seemed unfazed, but Lin Ziyun was petrified. Minutes later, Gu Jingyan sped onto a highway that hugged the edge of a steep cliff. Their pursuers were relentless, their bullets peppering Gu Jingyan's car. Lin Ziyun ducked and weaved, each near miss a stark reminder of her own mortality. In a moment of desperate improvisation, Gu Jingyan, one hand on the wheel, the other reaching for a hidden weapon, returned fire. Lin Ziyun realized that shooting and driving simultaneously was severely impacting their speed. And then she saw it, a turn-off leading into the city. Turn right, into the city, she yelled, hoping it was their chance to escape. Gu Jingyan saw the opportunity, but also a chance to test her. Without warning, he grabbed her hand and placed it on the steering wheel. Lin Ziyun jumped, startled and indignant. What are you doing? Drive, he commanded, his voice calm as he leaned out the window, focusing on returning fire. Lin Ziyun's blood ran cold. She didn't know how to drive. Panic seized her. No, I can't. Wait. Ahead, she saw an emergency turnoff. Desperate, she swerved the car onto it. It worked. They'd lost their pursuers. Wait, this muscle memory from Lin Shi's body. When the dust settled, Lin Ziyun, furious, rounded on Gu Jingyan. Who did you manage to offend? Gu Jingyan, having observed her surprisingly steady handling of the car, found himself questioning the near accident. How could she have mistakenly hit the gas like that? But there was no time to dwell on it. Their pursuers had reappeared. Seizing a moment when they weren't looking, Lin Ziyun yelled, "Get back in the car." Then, she slammed her foot on the accelerator, sending the car hurtling towards the blockade of vehicles. Panic erupted among their pursuers. What the F***CK? Are they crazy? Accelerating now is suicide. One shouted. Another, however, dismissed it as a desperate last stand. Nothing to worry about. They're cornered. Inside the car, Gu Jingyan, seemingly confident in Lin Ziyun's driving, calmly asked, "How are you holding up?" Lin Ziyun, a smirk playing on her lips, replied, "Hold on tight. I'm getting us out of here." As if to punctuate her words, the car surged forward. Seeing the oncoming car, the pursuers raised their weapons, ready to fire. But they were caught completely off guard as Gu Jingyan's car, in a breathtaking maneuver, soared over their vehicles, leaving them in the dust. Chaos erupted as they scrambled to regroup. What the hell was that? Fall back! Fall back! Lin Shi's expert driving skills seemed to have transferred to Lin Ziyun, who now navigated the streets with an almost preternatural ability. A thrill coursed through her as she taunted her pursuers mentally. "You want to surround me? I'm a professional racer. Suddenly, Gu Jingyin's sharp voice cut through her reverie. Break. Gu Jingyin's sharp command snapped Lin Ziyun back to reality. She saw it then, a treacherous curve in the road. But it was too late. The car slammed into the guardrail and plunged over the edge, plummeting towards the churning rapids below. Their pursuers watched in stunned silence. Flames erupted, engulfing the wreckage. The pursuers began to gather their weapons. Their mission, at least partially, accomplished. Damn, that was a close one muttered, wiping sweat from his brow. Too clever for their own good, another sneered. The leader barked into his radio, mission accomplished. Withdraw. Moments later, Gu Jingyin's car was completely submerged. Miraculously, both he and Lin Ziyun had managed to escape the wreckage. But Lin Ziyun, choking on water, desperately cried out for help. Gu Jingyin, his right arm injured, struggled to reach her. Lin Shi, he shouted, his voice strained as he fought against the current. Lin Ziyun slipped into unconsciousness, the swirling water pulling her under. The world faded to black. Just as she began to lose hope, Gu Jingyin's hand grasped hers. With a Herculean effort, he dragged them both to the riverbank. Gasping for breath, he frantically called out Lin Shi's name, hoping to rouse her. But her breathing was shallow, almost non-existent. He began CPR, his heart pounding in his chest. Wake up, damn it, Lin Shi. My body won't obey me anymore, but I won't let you die. Left with no other choice, he prepared to give her mouth to mouth. But just as their lips were about to meet, Lin Ziyun coughed, spraying water all over his face. Gu Jingyin stared at her, dumbfounded. Coughing and sputtering, Lin Ziyun noticed Gu Jingyin's wound. You're hurt, she exclaimed. We need to bandage that. There were no medical supplies in sight, so she tore a strip of fabric from her jacket. As she worked, Gu Jingyin looked at her, a curious glint in his eye. So, you've experienced a real-life car chase now. Still scared? He asked, his voice laced with amusement. I'm curious with driving skills like that. How did you manage to crash and die? The realization hit Lin Ziyun like a ton of bricks. He was testing her. You were testing me, she accused, anger flaring in her eyes. Risking your life just to test me. Was it worth it? Without hesitation, he answered yes. I needed a reason to trust you, he continued, his gaze unwavering. A reason to believe I can get closer to the truth about Lin Shi's death. A wave of emotion washed over Lin Ziyun. He was doing all of this for her, for Lin Shi. Gu Jingyin, how can I ever repay you? Suddenly, Gu Jingyin slumped against her, his body weakened by blood loss. Panic surged through her. Gu Jingyin, she cried, shaking him gently. Gu Jingyin, stay with me. I'll get you to a hospital. With every ounce of strength she possessed, she hauled him towards the road, determined to repay his kindness. Finally, they reached the hospital. Upon reaching the hospital gates, Lin Ziyun screamed for help. Doctor, help! Someone needs a doctor. Medical personnel and doctors quickly rushed a gurney towards Gu Jingyin. As they did, they recognized the injured man as the prominent Gu Jingyin. His status clearly held significant weight. The situation was deemed critical, and the doctors mobilized, their voices echoing urgent instructions. He's lost a lot of blood. Find type A blood in the bank, quickly. A nurse reported back. Type A was used up in the afternoon surgery. We haven't received a new supply yet. Lin Ziyun seized the opportunity. Take my blood. I'm type A. Without a moment's hesitation, the medical team made a swift decision. Take her for a blood draw now. Within minutes, the blood draw was complete. Just then, the phone in Lin Ziyun's jacket pocket began to ring. She was surprised. It still works after being submerged in water. The number flashing on the screen was unfamiliar. Hesitantly, Lin Ziyun answered. Hello, who is this? A voice on the other end said something about Sister Chan, and when Lin Ziyun responded, what? The voice continued, I'll send you the location. Let's meet and talk. Whatever was said on the other end of the line seemed urgent. Lin Ziyun left, her heart pounding with a mixture of anxiety and anticipation. She silently pleaded, Gu Jingyin, you have to be okay. Suddenly, the nurse who had taken her blood rushed out, frantically calling her name. Lin Shi, is anyone named Lin Shi here? Your blood type doesn't match. Where are you? The nurse looked around in confusion. The chair is empty. Meanwhile, at the Xiujiangnan Inn, a woman on a motorcycle waited for Lin Ziyun by the roadside. She had a striking figure and enigmatic aura, her hair a vibrant burgundy. As Lin Ziyun approached, she recognized the woman and called out, Sister Chan, when did you get out? Why are you only finding me now? Sister Chan removed her helmet, a smile playing on her lips. I was held up investigating something, she explained, revealing a stunningly beautiful face. Let's go inside and talk. Her beauty was truly captivating. Lin Ziyun, clearly close to this woman, rushed forward and embraced her excitedly. Let's go, Sister Chan. I missed you so much. Sister Chan playfully questioned, you missed me. Why didn't you come and pick me up? Lin Ziyun explained, you got out earlier than expected. I was wrong, okay. I'll treat you to dinner tonight. A few minutes later, inside the inn's living room, Lin Ziyun got straight to the point. Sister, you said you found out who attacked me in the freezer. Sister Chan placed her glass on the table and began to report her findings. I know you suspected someone from the Lin family. My investigation confirms it. It was Lin Wan. The news wasn't surprising. It explained Lin Wan's shock at seeing Lin Ziyun alive in the restaurant. Back at the hospital, Gu Jingyan awoke from his unconscious state. A doctor immediately checked on him. You're awake. You've recovered quite quickly. Where did you get such serious injuries? Gu Jingyan, his mind elsewhere, asked where is she. He seemed unconcerned with his own well-being, focused solely on Lin Ziyun's whereabouts. The doctor paused, then replied, Who? Oh, the person who brought you here. She's gone. Gu Jingyan immediately became anxious, attempting to get out of bed. Gone. When? He asked the doctor. The doctor explained, while you were in surgery. Why? New girlfriend. Let me tell you, this new girlfriend of yours isn't very reliable. She doesn't even know her own blood type, and she offered to donate blood to you. Hearing this, Gu Jingyan was taken aback. The blood transfusion form, he demanded. Where is it? Upon receiving the blood donation registration form, he saw that Lin Shi's blood type was O. But according to Gu Jingyan's memory, Lin Ziyun's blood type was A. The scene flashed back to Lin Shi's early days in prison. It was in the dining hall. Lin Shi sat eating, her thoughts consumed by her tragically deceased sister, Ziyun, and the injustice of her murder. Suddenly, the group of inmates who habitually bullied her called out, Hey newbie, why don't you come eat with us? Not use the prison food, huh? Sister Chan, sitting opposite Lin Shi, noticed the group's movements. Their leader, unable to contain herself any longer, approached Lin Shi, playfully twirling a strand of her hair while whispering menacingly, How about I give you my portion? I'm talking to you. Do you hear me? Lin Shi coldly replied, Get lost. The bullies grabbed her hair, yanking it hard, and threw her from her chair onto the floor. You're refusing our offer. You want to be taught a lesson. They snarled. Just as Lin Shi braced herself for the inevitable beating, Sister Chan intervened, blocking a punch and potentially saving her life. The leader of the bullies challenged Sister Chan. Hey Yi, I know you're good at fighting, but you and I have always stayed out of each other's way. Standing protectively in front of Lin Shi, Sister Chan warned, You're disturbing my meal. The leader retorted, You don't even know this girl. It's not worth it for you to make enemies over her. Unfazed, Sister Chan tightened her grip on the bully's fist, provoking her further. Try me, she dared. The bully, her hand in agony, cried out in pain. Lin Shi quickly warned them. The guard are looking over here. If you continue, next week's chores are definitely yours. At that moment, the leader seemed to exchange a subtle signal with the guard. Realizing the situation wasn't favorable, she led her group away, but not without a parting threat. Just you wait, she hissed. In that moment, a bond of mutual support was forged between Lin Shi and Sister Chan within the harsh confines of the prison. From then on, their relationship deepened. Knowing Sister Chan's fighting prowess, the bullies didn't dare to target Lin Shi again. Lin Ziyun, having finished sifting through her sister's memories, found Sister Chan sitting on the sofa. Sister Chan spoke frankly, Those bastards separated us so they could get to you. I thought you were dead. I can't believe you're so tough. You survived that beating. They transferred me to another cell to await my release. We never got to see each other again after that. At this point, Lin Ziyun, still inhabiting Lin Shi's body, felt a pang of bittersweet regret. If only Lin Shi had been so fortunate. Sister Chan continued, After I knew you were all right, I started watching those thugs. I discovered they were connected to a prison guard. After I got out, I investigated and sure enough, that guard was dirty. I followed him to a restaurant and saw him with Lin Wan. To be certain, Lin Ziyun pressed, Are you sure it was Lin Wan? Sister Chan replied, After I got out, the first thing I did was investigate the Lin family. Lin Ziyun finally understood. First, they tampered with Lin Shi's car, framing her for Lin Ziyun's murder. Then, they bribed the prison guard to target Lin Shi in jail. Thinking it through, Lin Ziyun exclaimed, Humph, what a clever two birds with one stone plan. Sister Chan, a little confused by this, asked, What do you mean? Do you understand everything now? Lin Ziyun explained, After I returned home, I learned from my grandfather that my mother left me an inheritance. I suspect Lin Wan wanted to steal it. Lin Ziyun chuckled, then continued, haha, she wouldn't have thought of this herself. But with her position in the Lin family, there aren't many who could manipulate her. Fu Runya is one of them. At the mention of this name, her eyes turned sharp and icy. Sister Chan was still puzzled. They're all children of the Lin family. Even if someone wanted to steal your inheritance, why would they kill your sister? Didn't your father care? Lin Ziyun's voice was filled with bitterness. My father, my mother hadn't even been dead long before he brought Fu Runya into the house. Then came Lin Wan and Lin Ziyun. I'm nothing special to him, probably just excess baggage. As for Ziyun, to him, Ziyun's birth was an accident, proof of his drunken mistake. He never acknowledged Ziyun or her mother, just gave them some money and told them to disappear. Then Ziyun's mother became seriously ill because they had no money for treatment. She trailed off, the pain of speaking about her own past evident. Sister Chan finally understood. So, Lin Ziyun didn't have much connection to the Lin family. She wouldn't inherit anything. Even if your father didn't care, they wouldn't go so far as to harm Lin Ziyun. But Lin Ziyun felt there was more to the story. What I know now is limited. The only clue I have might be Gu Jingyan. Hearing the name Gu Jingyan, Sister Chan was surprised. Is it the young CEO of the Gu Corporation? Lin Ziyun nodded. That's him. He's also investigating Ziyun's death. He even came to find me. Sister Chan was hesitant. But you're the one the law has pinned the murder on. Wouldn't he? Before she could finish, Lin Ziyun quickly reassured her. He found out that Ziyun and I had a very good relationship. He doesn't believe I'm the real killer. He might still have some doubts about me, but I'm willing to trust that he'll help me. Seeing this unusual state in Lin Shi, Sister Chan teased. Tell me, you don't have a crush on him, do you? Lin Ziyun immediately denied it. What? There's nothing between us. Sister Chan playfully added, nothing between you. You don't look like there's nothing between you. Exasperated, Lin Ziyun finally snapped. Oh, come on. Let's talk seriously. My family situation is very complicated. It wasn't easy for me to get out of there. Are you sure you want to help me? Sister Chan immediately cut her off, firmly stating, don't be silly. We've already talked about this. I'll help you deal with your family, and you'll help me investigate my case. Lin Ziyun looked surprised. Huh, there's more to this. Sister Chan's face darkened, her voice hardening. You forgot already. She then burst out laughing, backtracking. No, you didn't forget. You didn't forget. A word once spoken, 4 horses can't retrieve it. There's just so much going on. It's hard to remember everything. Seemingly satisfied with this answer, Sister Chan continued, all right, that's fine. So, where do we start our investigation? Lin Ziyun grinned, suggesting, since Lin Wan has shown her hand, let's make her cough up everything she stole from me. The scene shifts to Gu Jingyan's office. He was still tirelessly investigating Lin Shi's true identity after the confusing blood type test. He couldn't help but recall the moment he pulled her from the water. Lin Ziyun had scolded him. Was it worth risking your life just to test me? Gu Jingyan had quickly admitted it was. I needed a reason to trust you. That's the only way I can get closer to the truth about Ziyun's death. He then remembered the surgeon recounting how Lin Shi, upon hearing they lacked type A blood, had immediately declared she was type A. I saw how certain she was, so I told her to go ahead. Who knew someone could be so careless? Careless. Was it truly carelessness? Rewinding to the day of Lin Ziyun's accident, she was standing by the roadside talking to a young woman. Suddenly, from a distance, her sister, Lin Shi, came rushing towards her, and the woman Lin Ziyun had been talking to, without hesitation, shoved her into the street. By the time Lin Ziyun realized what was happening, a car was already bearing down on her. In her mind, she pleaded no, don't. Then, she snapped back to reality. It had just been a nightmare. Gasping for breath, Lin Ziyun remembered her own death 3 years ago. That dream again. Just then, Lin Shi's younger brother called with an update. I've finished the investigation. What's up? Remember I asked you to look into the fraudulent use of my bank card? I got it. Just like you suspected, it was Lin Wan. Wanting to be certain, Lin Ziyun asked, are you sure? He immediately confirmed, positive. That idiot clearly has no idea how to use security measures. I cracked it easily. Lin Ziyun teased him, cracked it easily, huh? It took you several days. He laughed, replying, haha, I blocked the old card. The new one will take about 3 days to reach you. Relieved, Lin Ziyun thanked her foolish younger brother. But he continued, warning his sister not to thank him too quickly. About another big present for that cheapskate, he declared. Lin Ziyun, curious, asked what this big present could be. Her brother remained secretive. Knowing beforehand would spoil the fun, he teased. Besides, it'll take a few days to take effect. When it does, I guarantee she'll go crazy. You have to take me out to dinner then. Get some sleep. Bye-bye, he said, abruptly hanging up. He was truly Lin Ziyun's brother. Their aggressive personalities were identical. Several days later, in a bustling shopping mall teeming with people, Lin Ziyun and Sister Chan sat sipping drinks in a cafe within the shopping complex. Sister Chan, slightly doubtful, asked, "Are you sure Lin Wan will come here today?" Lin Ziyun winked, assuring her, "Don't worry. My good buddy, the owner of Scam, knows his VIP clients' appointments." What no one suspected was that the store actually belonged to Lin Ziyun. Before going to prison, fearing it would fall into Fu Runya's hands, she had hastily transferred ownership to Qin Jiatyang. Naturally, only Lin Ziyun knew this truth. Intrigued, Sister Chan asked, "This Qin Jiatyang seems quite obedient to you. Why do I remember him being from a military political family?" Lin Ziyun, flustered, stammered, unsure how to explain. Just then, the two targets of their plan arrived. They immediately focused, discreetly observing the situation. Sister Chan turned to Lin Ziyun, asking, "What's the plan?" Lin Ziyun suggested, "Let's follow her and see how she spends." Right on cue, Lin Wan entered the Scam store, just as Lin Ziyun had planned. Store employees immediately began showcasing expensive outfits. "This year's design by Jim Kevin," one gushed. "We only have one pre-ordered piece, and it's reserved just for you. See, this would look absolutely stunning on you." Lin Wan hesitated for a moment, then praised the outfit. "Well, it is a design by the Scam chairman. It has to be good." The employee immediately flattered her. "You're so lucky and have such a good eye." Just then, Lin Wan noticed Sister Chan and Lin Ziyun. With a sneer, she taunted them. "Why do I keep running into you everywhere I go?" Lin Ziyun stepped forward, retorting, "Did you want to say speak of the devil?" Lin Wan continued her mockery. "Speak of the devil. It depends on which devil. A high-end store like this, do you even have the face to come in here?" Lin Ziyun fired back. "We both have a Lin surname. If I can come in, why can't you?" Lin Wan exploded, shouting in front of everyone in the store, "We both have a Lin surname. You think you're worthy. Do you even know who she is? She's a murderer just out of prison. You let this kind of person in here. Where's your manager?" The surrounding crowd began to murmur, whispering amongst themselves. Just then, the manager appeared to address the situation. "Miss Lin, please calm down. Is there something I can help you with?" Lin Wan immediately berated the manager and staff. "Your store is supposed to be a reputable brand. How can you let just anyone in here?" An employee quickly whispered to the manager. "Miss Lin says this customer is a murderer recently released from prison." The manager turned to Sister Chan and Lin Ziyun. "I'm sorry, but we don't welcome you two in our store. Please leave. Miss, please leave." Lin Ziyun, maintaining her composure, continued to question the manager. "Oh, can I have a reason, please?" The manager, however, refused to elaborate further. He immediately beckoned a male employee over. "I'm very sorry, but please," he began, before being abruptly cut off. Sister Chan swiftly grabbed the manager and slammed him to the ground, stunning the other shoppers in the store. Lin Ziyun then casually remarked, "Don't say I didn't warn you. My friend's temper isn't as good as mine." Now, truly enraged, the manager picked up his phone and issued another warning. "If you two continue to cause trouble, I'll call security." Lin Ziyun, however, simply walked calmly towards him. She pointed at his name tag and stated plainly, "No need for such a fuss. Because you're fired." She emphasized each word. Lin Wan, still foolishly oblivious, scoffed. "Who do you think you are? All talk and no action." Just then, Qin Jiatyang arrived, seemingly to address the commotion. He strode into the store and declared in front of everyone, "She's the owner of this place. She can fire whoever she wants." The manager, now terrified, stammered, "Oh, owner." Lin Ziyun was also surprised by his appearance. She hadn't called him. Why was he here? Qin Jiatyang, with a smug expression, asked her quietly, "Did I arrive just in time?" He then glanced coldly at the manager and curtly ordered, "Pack your things and leave. Now." Then, pointing at Lin Wan, he bluntly told her, "If you're not buying anything, get out." Humiliated, Lin Wan retorted, "Who said I'm not buying anything? Swipe the card. I'll pay for everything." She then held up a prestigious black card, the kind only the elite possessed. She thought to herself, "Even without the VIP black card, I can still afford this. Lin Shi, I won't let you look down on me." However, her bravado was misplaced. She was unaware that everything was unfolding according to Lin Ziyun's plan. The employee swiped the card and promptly announced, "I'm sorry, Miss Lin, but there are insufficient funds on this card." The words pierced her like a dagger, shattering her composure. "No, this can't be happening. This can't be." She frantically showed bank messages to Lin Ziyun, accusing her. Did you do this? Lin Ziyun feigned innocence, retorting, did I do what? Inwardly, however, she was thinking, serves you right, the debt. Could this be the big present Lin Anjuan mentioned? Did he transfer all the debt to Lin Wan's card? Good job, Qin Jiatyang reiterated. So, you can't pay. Leave. Our store doesn't welcome you, Miss Lin. Utterly humiliated, Lin Wan could only manage a parting threat. Lin Shi, don't get too cocky. Just you wait. After she had stormed out, Sister Chan, impressed, praised Lin Ziyun's plan. Haha, that was brilliant. Where to next? Lin Ziyun replied instantly. Follow her. Let's see who she goes to for help with that massive debt. Just then, Qin Jiatyang called out to her, seemingly wanting to say something. Hey Ziyun. He began, I just wanted to ask, could we talk privately? Lin Ziyun, however, didn't have time for a private conversation. She put him off, saying, not today, I have something urgent. I'll treat you to dinner another time. However, Qin Jiatyang couldn't contain himself any longer. He suddenly stepped forward and grabbed her arm, stopping her. Lin Shi, I really need to talk to you. It's urgent. Sister Chan quickly chimed in, urging Lin Ziyun, I think he's serious. You should go with him. Then Sister Chan leaned in and whispered, I understand. Whoever Lin Wan goes to is probably connected to the person who hired the hitman. Leave it to me. Lin Ziyun, relieved, entrusted the matter to Sister Chan, but not without a reminder. Be careful, she said. The scene shifted to the food court of the shopping mall a while later. Getting straight to the point, Lin Ziyun asked, all right, what is it? Qin Jiatyang took a deep breath, gathering his courage, and confessed, Lin Shi, will you be my girlfriend? Lin Ziyun almost choked on her own spit. Seeing her exaggerated reaction, Qin Jiatyang continued earnestly, Lin Shi, I know people say you're a spoiled brat, talentless, rebellious, disrespectful, and that your personal life is a mess. But I know that's not who you are. We've known each other since school. You were always a top student. After your mother passed away and your father remarried, you changed, acting out to get his attention. But instead of caring, he just grew to dislike you more. So you resigned yourself to this downward spiral. You were the only one in your family who had a good relationship with Lin Ziyun, and yet you were framed for her death, accused of running her over. His words gave Lin Ziyun a glimpse into the true Lin Shi's past struggles. He continued, I understand all the pain you've endured all these years. I know you've always seen me as a brother, but I want to be more than that. I want to be your boyfriend, someone who can be there for you. I'm not joking. I'm serious. Will you give me a chance? Faced with this heartfelt confession, Lin Ziyun felt a pang of guilt. Qin Jiatyang likes Lin Shi. I wonder how she felt about him. But I'm not her. Caught in a difficult situation, Lin Ziyun could only offer a gentle rejection. Jiatyang, thank you. I don't know how to explain this, but I can't accept your feelings right now. I'm sorry. Despite being rejected, Qin Jiatyang didn't seem discouraged. He let out a laugh, trying to diffuse the awkwardness. Well, that's that then. Guess I'm not even good enough to be a brother, huh? He then continued, let's just pretend I didn't say anything. This is your store, so I'll return it to its rightful owner. Lin, she started to protest. No, you don't have to, but Qin Jiatyang was already leaving. Before he disappeared completely, he called back, give me some time. Let me compose myself. Maybe then I can see. Despite his attempts to appear nonchalant, Lin Ziyun suspected he was deeply hurt, having pursued Lin Shi for so long. Just as Qin Jiatyang left, Gu Jingyan appeared, his voice soft. Did I come a bad time? Seeing him, Lin Ziyun's concern was immediate. What are you doing here? Is your injury all right? Gu Jingyan sat down opposite her, in the seat Qin Jiatyang had just vacated. Oh, so you do remember I was injured. You disappeared for days without a word, no contact. I thought you'd forgotten about me. His tone was playfully accusatory, leaving Lin Ziyun feeling a little awkward. So, she immediately apologized and explained, I'm sorry, I really do have a lot going on. But Gu Jingyan, ever inquisitive, cut her off. Oh really? Busy rejecting confessions. Hearing his words, suspicion bloomed in Ziyun's heart. How did he arrive so timely? Could he be following me again? She confronted him directly. Have you been eavesdropping? Gu Jingyan replied smoothly, not eavesdropping, just a chance encounter. But this wasn't the answer she wanted. Lin Ziyun pressed further. First, probing about the car accident, and now this following and eavesdropping. Do you not trust me at all? Faced with her pointed questions, Gu Jingyan realized something was amiss. She's not herself today. Something's bothering her. He quickly backtracked. Of course I trust you. I was wrong. but I haven't even had a chance to explain. It's fine. It was my fault, he added, sensing her rising frustration. But I really haven't had the chance to explain everything. Lin Ziyun, already agitated, abruptly stood up, cutting him off. Initially, I did want to use you to investigate some things, but I never intended to take advantage of you or hurt you. Seeing her anger and her attempt to leave, Gu Jingyan quickly reached out and grabbed her hand, trying to clarify. Don't misunderstand. I didn't actually hear anything just now. But Lin Ziyun, already disappointed by his actions, grew cold. She pulled her hand away, her voice flat. Whether you genuinely wanted to investigate Ziyun's case or not, I know you don't truly trust me. If that's the case, then don't waste your time with me anymore. It's pointless. Our cooperation is over. With that, Lin Ziyun turned and walked away, giving him no further opportunity to explain. Gu Jingyan watched her retreating figure, questioning his actions. Did I go too far? A while later, after leaving the mall, Lin Ziyun's frustration simmered. Walking along the street, she fumed internally. That wretched Gu Jingyan, probing, following, even stooping to eavesdropping. And here I was feeling indebted to him. Just then, Sister Chan called with an update. Lin Ziyun answered, immediately getting to the point. Hello, Sister Chan, what's the situation? Sister Chan, keeping a discreet eye on Lin Wan, relayed her observations. That's strange. Lin Wan didn't meet with Fu Nineha. Instead, she's been talking with a man in a cafe for quite a while. Intrigued by this unexpected development, Lin Ziyun asked, who is this man? Sister Chan admitted, I don't recognize him. They're about to leave. I'll take a picture and send it to you. Just seconds later, Lin Ziyun identified the man in the photo. It was Zhibing. The scene flashed back to a time in the past. Lin Tian had taken Lin Ziyun to an exhibition showcasing precious jade pieces. But despite searching, they couldn't seem to find Lin Ziyun's work. So, Lin Shi patted her younger sister's shoulder reassuringly. Don't be discouraged, Ziyun. This place is full of influential people. You're not well known yet, so it's understandable that your work isn't prominently displayed. It's all that idiot Zheng Yang's fault for not securing a better spot. Next time, I'll definitely find a way to get your pieces showcased in a more eye-catching location. But Lin Ziyun simply smiled faintly and replied, Sister Shi, I'm able to study thanks to your and Grandpa's support. I'm grateful just to be able to participate in such a large-scale exhibition. At that moment, in another corner of the exhibition, a group of what appeared to be upper-class attendees began to admire a particular piece. They murmured amongst themselves, I've never seen this artist before. Must be a newcomer. Only 19 years old. You can't underestimate the younger generation these days. While this piece isn't quite masterful yet, the concept is excellent. Give it some time, and they might even surpass us old fogies. Lin Shi immediately led her sister over and bowed respectfully. Thank you for your kind words about my younger sister's humble work. She then nudged Ziyun. Ziyun, come and thank them. The elegantly dressed group turned their attention to Lin Ziyun and continued their praise. Remarkable. Are you the artist? Such a young woman. Not bad. Not bad at all. Just then, amidst the lively atmosphere, a smartly dressed man in a suit approached the two sisters. He introduced himself. It's a pleasure to meet such a talented young artist. I'm currently working on a project to unearth promising young artists, providing newcomers with a platform to showcase their work to a wider audience. I highly value your talent, Miss Lin. I wonder if you'd be interested in joining. Lin Shi, standing beside him, assessed the man silently. Isn't he Vice President Zhe? Also a talented young man himself. So humble. As for Lin Ziyun, she could only think he's so handsome. The moment he extended his hand for a handshake, Ziyun's young heart fluttered uncontrollably. A blush crept on her cheeks. That moment marked the beginning of their connection. Sometime later, Lin Ziyun and Zhibing were in a relationship. While Lin Ziyun was working on a jade piece alone in her studio, Zhibing entered with a bag of food. He gently asked, Yin, still working. He then embraced her from behind, his voice tender. Haven't you rested in days? Look at you, you have dark circles. Don't overwork yourself. Basking in the warmth of his affection, Lin Ziyun quickly denied, I'm not tired. The exhibition is coming up soon. I want to finish this piece as quickly as possible. Zhibing continued to persuade her, I know you're working hard, but I'll be heartbroken if you get sick. Then, he gently took her hand, kissed it, and confessed sincerely, Yin, I want to announce our relationship at the exhibition. I want the world to know that the renowned young sculptor is the girlfriend of Zhibing, my future wife. Faced with such heartfelt words, not only Lin Ziyun, but even I would be swayed. Back in the present, that night at the Zhujiangnan Inn, Lin Xian's temporary residence after her rebirth, she tossed and turned, unable to shake off her troubling thoughts. Sister, she is out of prison. Zhibing hasn't contacted me. You must believe, Lin, she is the one who killed me. And because of my awkward situation, I haven't contacted him. But why is he with Lin Wan? Just as she thought of him, Zhibing actually called. Seeing his number, Lin Ziyun couldn't help but wonder, was it a coincidence that Zhibing was calling now? But she couldn't avoid the truth forever. She had to answer. As soon as she picked up, Zhibing went straight to the point. Cici, are you alright? Are you still blaming me? I didn't come to see you when you were released. Lin Ziyun's voice was filled with bitterness as she reassured him. I'm the one who killed your girlfriend. It's only right that you didn't come. But Zhibing repeatedly denied it. No, I admit, when I heard the news, my mind was a mess. Everyone thought you were the murderer, even in newspapers. He hesitated, but you were so good to Ziyun. I believe in you. How could you do such a thing? Lin Ziyun was truly surprised by his words. She needed to confirm. You really believe me? He immediately affirmed. Yes, I believe there must be another explanation. But my belief alone isn't enough. I want to organize a charity event in Ziyun's name, so more people will know you're innocent. I want everyone to believe you. So, the next day at the charity event, Lin Ziyun, dressed in a sweet and feminine blue dress, couldn't shake off her restless thoughts. Zhibing put so much effort into preparing this charity auction for me. I shouldn't doubt him. But why did he meet with Lin Wan at this time? Suddenly, at a nearby table, Lin Wan, sitting with another woman, began to provoke Lin Shi. Such a pity. The woman beside her was Xia Lang, the heiress of the Xia Corporation and the current top sculptor at the Yuegu Corporation. She immediately turned and asked, "What are you sighing about? What's a pity?" Lin Wan continued, speaking to Xia Lang. "It's a pity for you, being so devoted to Zhibing. He's holding a charity auction for his ex-girlfriend." Xia Lang immediately defended her love interest. It doesn't matter if Zhibing is sentimental. Besides, she's already dead. What threat could she pose to me? I'm the top sculptor at Yuegu. Zhibing will be mine sooner or later. Lin Wan continued her provocation, aiming her barbs at Lin Shi. Don't say I didn't warn you. This auction is being held in the name of Zhibing and my older sister. Aren't you afraid she'll snatch him away? Xia Lang couldn't ignore the warning. Your older sister, the criminal who stabbed Zhibing's ex-girlfriend to death. Even if Zhibing were blind, he wouldn't be interested in her. Lin Wan immediately added fuel to the fire. Don't underestimate her. Before going to prison, she was famous for her social skills. She's quite capable. I'm afraid CEO has been bewitched by her. Otherwise, how could you be here? These words successfully ignited Xia Lang's jealousy. She slammed the table and stood up, cursing as she walked away. Capable. She's just a nightclub hussy. How dare she put on a respectable act here? I'll expose her true colors. Lin Wan, meanwhile, couldn't help but chuckle. Looks like we have a good show coming up. Just a few minutes later, the drama unfolded. Lin Shi, who had been sitting quietly at the table, suddenly had a glass of wine spilled on her by Xia Lang. She was drenched from head to toe. Then, she added insult to injury with a feigned apology. "Oh, I'm so sorry my hand slipped. What a shame. You put so much effort into your makeup, Miss Lin." Xia Lang had deliberately humiliated Lin Shi in front of the other guests. Lin Wan immediately rushed over, feigning concern. "Sister, are you alright? Xia Lang can be so careless," she continued, "but don't take it to heart. Do you need to borrow something to wear?" Lin, she remained silent. Xia Lang pressed further. "But I don't understand why murderers are so popular these days." She didn't get to finish her sentence. Lin, she retaliated, splashing a glass of wine back on Xia Lang, mirroring the earlier incident. Both Lin Wan and Xia Lang were furious. Lin, she calmly responded, "Oh, I'm so sorry. My hand slipped," echoing Xia Lang's earlier words. This sent Lin Wan into a frenzy. "Lin Shi, are you crazy? You're the murderer, the one who killed Lin Ziyun. Now you're here, causing trouble. Aren't you ashamed?" She screamed in front of everyone, completely disregarding Lin Shi's dignity. Lin Wan's false accusations stirred the crowd. "I heard she ran over Lin Ziyun. How shameless and so arrogant. Isn't that her? Why is she here?" As the commotion escalated, Zhibing stepped in to defend Lin Shi. "That's enough," he declared. "Miss Lin is a friend of mine and one of the donors for this charity event. As for your speculations, we'll address them later. Until then, I urge you to be mindful of your words." He put his arm around Lin Shi and led her away. "Cici, let's go." He left Xia Lang, soaked from head to toe, standing there fuming. "Zhibing, what about me?" Zhibing's response was cold and dismissive. "You two should go change. Don't ruin the event." His sharp words pierced Xiaolang's heart, leaving her speechless. Lin Ziyun, observing the scene, felt a sense of relief. Zhibing is still so kind, stepping in to help Lin Shi. The photo must be a misunderstanding. Zhibing led Lin Shi to a dressing room. Cici, go ahead and change. I'll wait outside. Inside the brightly lit room, the sheer number of outfits was overwhelming. Lin Shi felt dizzy. She paced back and forth, each outfit more dazzling than the last. Which one should I choose? She called out to Zhibing. Zhibing, which one is mine? There was no answer. Puzzled, Lin Shi opened the door. The hallway was empty. Where did he go? She heard raised voices coming from the next room. Zhibing, what do you mean by this? Zhibing's voice followed. Keep your voice down, dear sister. That sounds like Lin Wan. Curiosity piqued. Lin Shi pressed herself against the wall, eavesdropping on the conversation. Lin Wan continued to berate her cousin. Didn't we already discuss this? You were going to trick Lin Shi into investing in this auction, and we'd split the profits. Why are you protecting her now? Zhibing hastily explained. Wan Yin, you're being too impulsive. The event hasn't even started, and you already threw wine on her. If I hadn't intervened, would she have believed me? Lin Wan, still irritated, snapped at him. And it's not like Xiaolang was jealous or anything. I saw how protective you were of her. Zhibing denied it. Protecting her. You wound me. My debts rely on the profits from this auction. If we don't appease Lin Shi, how are we going to get her money? Lin Wan's anger finally subsided. Really? You're not lying to me. Zhibing continued to placate her. My dear cousin, you're my permanent business partner now. How could I offend you for a murderer? Overhearing the entire exchange, Lin Shi's heart shattered. She sank to the floor, fighting back tears. Ziyun, I never, not even in 1,000 years, imagined this. The person I trusted most betrayed me. Meanwhile, outside in the main hall of the charity auction, Gu Jingyan had just arrived. He paced back and forth, searching for Lin Shi. I investigated, and it's definitely here. Where is she? Maybe backstage. He decided to take a chance and headed toward the hall to look for her. As luck would have it, he spotted Lin Shi, tears welling in her eyes, huddled in a corner, watching Zhibing. He overheard a snippet of their conversation. My debts rely on the profits from this auction. If we don't appease Lin Shi, how are we going to get her money? Gu Jingyan, still wondering why she was there, was about to call out to her. When Zhibing continued, everyone knows about that car accident, trying to clear her name with a charity auction. Only someone as naive as her would believe that. Lin Wan chimed in. Whether she believes it or not doesn't matter. As long as we get the money. She sees you as her savior now. Don't let the act become reality. Okay. Zhibing quickly reassured her. Of course not. Gu Jingyan recognized the voices as Zhibing and Lin Wan. The conversation, combined with the sight of Lin Shi's silent tears, made everything click into place. So that's why she suddenly donated money to charity. This silly girl, why didn't she tell me? No wonder she was so angry when I questioned her. Public opinion is against her, even her own family. She probably has no one left to trust. In that moment, something stirred within Gu Jingyan. He quietly instructed his subordinate, Xiao Si, investigate the auction Lin Shi invested in. I want results in half an hour. A while later, Lin Shi returned to the dressing room, the weight of what she'd witnessed heavy on her shoulders. Dragging her feet, she murmured, Sister Ziyun, I really didn't expect even Zhibing to treat me like this. It's laughable that I actually wanted to trust him. If even you betray me, then let's fight. With newfound resolve, she selected a crimson evening gown. Lin Shi was ready to battle the schemers who sought to use her. Sometime later, after appeasing Lin Wan, Zhibing returned to the dressing room to find Lin Shi. Cici, are you finished changing? Can I come in? It's almost starting. There are a lot of reporters here today. I'm worried they might give you a hard time. It's better if we go out together. Cici, it's been a long time since we've stood together like this. Remember back then? If it weren't for Ziyun, maybe we would have been together. If you hadn't been worried about upsetting Ziyun and stopped me from breaking up with her, I wouldn't be in this difficult position. Cici, I know it's not the right time to say this, but I still want you to give me a chance. From now on, will you let me stay by your side? While he continued to shower her with exaggerated, cheesy lines, Lin Ziyun, unseen, expertly applied her makeup, transforming herself into a radiant beauty, ready to face the public and enact her revenge. As she drew back the curtain and stepped out, nodding in agreement, her dazzling, captivating appearance stunned Zhibing. He froze, then cleared his throat and quickly urged her, we should hurry out. At the charity auction, the MC began his opening remarks. Distinguished guests, esteemed members of the press, the Yugu Corporation and Para Charity Foundation's charity auction is officially commencing. Now, we invite the organizer of this charity event to say a few words. Bing and Lin Shi appeared on stage together. Thank you for taking the time to attend this charity event. Before we begin, allow me to introduce the investor for this charity event, Miss Lin Shi, heiress of the Lin Corporation. Everyone knows Ziyun is our Yu-Gu Corporation's leading sculptor. It's thanks to her work that Yu-Gu has gained recognition. But what you don't know is that Miss Lin Shi has been silently supporting Yu-Gu from behind the scenes, helping Ziyun and me. It's safe to say that without Miss Lin Shi, Yu-Gu wouldn't have a future, and Ziyun and her artwork wouldn't have achieved such success. I know Miss Lin, she has been involved in some disputes, but I believe she is a person of great compassion. Bing's words felt like a dagger to Xiaolang's heart. She immediately turned to Lin Wan, demanding, "Wan Yin, what is he talking about?" Lin Wan, arms crossed, sneered, "I told you. That sly vixen Lin, she wouldn't wait for you to confess your feelings." On stage, Bing continued, "Today, I've organized this auction in memory of Ziyun. I cherish her deeply. From now on, I will stand shoulder to shoulder with Lin Shi, just as I did before. I hope for a bright future for Yu-Gu and for all of us." As soon as he finished speaking, a loud smack echoed through the hall, silencing the entire room. Lin Shi had just delivered a resounding slap to Bing's face, knocking his glasses to the floor. Bing stammered, "CC, Lin Ziyun," her voice cold, scoffed, echoing his earlier words, shoulder to shoulder. "Bing, your performance of deep love and devotion is truly impressive. What a waste of talent not to be an actor." Bing immediately replaced his glasses, feigning confusion. "CC, what are you talking about?" Lin Ziyun, now fully embracing her identity as Lin Shi, launched into a blistering expose, dismantling his facade before the entire audience. When Yu-Gu was first established, it had no reputation whatsoever. It was Ziyun who tirelessly worked day and night, creating new pieces and helping you build Yu-Gu's name. Yet you claim that Yu-Gu helped her achieve success. On multiple occasions, Yu-Gu faced financial ruin. It was Ziyun who sold her own work to keep the company afloat and convinced me to invest, resolving your crises. Yet you claim that Yu-Gu wouldn't exist without me. Ziyun valued you, loved you. She poured her heart and soul into everything concerning you. And yet, you stand here, declaring your intention to stand shoulder to shoulder with me, building a bright future. Bing, have you no conscience? Lin Ziyun's sharp words and incisive logic left Bing reeling, his composure shattered. Beads of sweat erupted on his forehead, betraying his anxiety and fear. A murmur rippled through the audience, growing into a clamor for answers. "Mr. Fu, please explain the relationship between you and Miss Lin. What does Miss Lin mean?" Trapped, with no escape route in sight, Bing lashed out. "CC, even if I couldn't clear your name as you wanted, you shouldn't force me into a corner like this. I told you backstage, your situation is too complicated to simply erase. This auction was only meant to shift public opinion. You want to take all the credit for Yu-Gu's success. Fine, I'll accept that. But you demanded I propose to you in front of everyone. Ziyun is barely gone. I couldn't do that to her. This blatant twisting of the truth, this brazen manipulation." Lin Ziyun could scarcely believe her ears. What was he saying? In the audience, Lin Wan smirked, triumphant. Did Lin Shi really think revealing the truth would turn the tables? How utterly naive. Let's see who will help her now. The moment Bing's fabricated accusations left his lips, the reporters, like sharks sensing blood, turned their cameras on Lin Ziyun, a frenzy of flashes capturing her stunned expression. "Is what Mr. Fu said true? Are you the one who killed Lin Ziyun? You're holding this charity event in her name. Aren't you ashamed?" Miss Lin, your silence suggests you agree, doesn't it? Faced with the barrage of accusations, Lin Ziyun faltered, the desire to fight back warring with the overwhelming tide of public opinion. "No, it's not like that. He's lying. Someone, please believe me." Suddenly at that moment, the sharp rap of a gavel cut through the chaos, silencing the reporters. Gu Jingyan, holding the gavel, sat calmly in the audience, his legs crossed. He addressed Bing directly. "I have a question for Mr. Fu. Is this charity event truly being held in Miss Lin's memory?" Caught off guard, Bing stammered, "Mr. Gu, what do you mean by that?" Gu Jingyan rose to his feet, his voice unwavering. "Nothing in particular. Unless, Mr. Fu, you're planning to deny your guilt. In that case, I have a few questions I'd like to raise. I trust you won't mind. Lin Ziyun, surprised and bewildered, could only silently gesture to Gu Jingyan. Why are you here? Gu Jingyan, offering a comforting pat to Lin Ziyun's head, continued to press Zhibing. I had no objections to Lin Shi's investment in this charity event. However, I've uncovered some interesting information. A wave of unease washed over Zhibing. What had he discovered? Fearful of the potential fallout, Zhibing suggested, if you have concerns, Mr. Gu, perhaps we could discuss them backstage. But Gu Jingyan wasn't about to let him off the hook so easily. Here, in front of everyone, he countered. Mr. Fu, are you feeling nervous? 3 years ago, the Zhishuan Charity Foundation held a charity auction. The items in that auction were not only of inferior quality, but the declared proceeds differed significantly from the actual amount. There were even suspicions of money laundering. A ripple of murmurs spread through the guests and reporters. Wasn't that money laundering auction swept under the rug? Someone whispered. Gu Jingyan continued, his voice steady and clear. The news was quickly suppressed, and the Zhishuan Charity Foundation disappeared. However, discovered that the account used by Zhishuan was linked to another charity organization, the Par Charity Foundation. He emphasized the name, letting it hang in the air. Every eye in the room turned to Zhibing. He shifted uncomfortably under the scrutiny. Reporters swarmed him, their questions relentless. Mr. Fu, are you implying you were involved in that money laundering scheme? Can you explain why you chose the Para Charity Foundation for this event? Flustered, Zhibing stammered, I know nothing about this. Even if the Para Charity Foundation was involved before, it doesn't prove anything. He didn't get to finish. Gu Jingyan cut him off. I knew you'd say that, Mr. Fu, which is why I investigated that linked account thoroughly. It has deep ties to you, in fact. It appears to be the same account used to purchase numerous famous artworks, a hobby I believe you're quite passionate about. How do you explain that? With that, Gu Jingyan presented a stack of documents to the audience, evidence of Zhibing's illicit activities. The reporters erupted. So Mr. Fu was involved in the money laundering auction 3 years ago. Is tonight's auction another scheme? They scrambled to photograph the incriminating documents. Zhibing, his face contorted with rage, pointed at Gu Jingyan. You're slandering me. I suspect you and Lin Shi are colluding to ruin me. Everyone knows what kind of person she is. You two must have some dirty deal going on. Gu Jingyan chuckled softly. You're half right, Mr. Fu, but it's not a deal. Lin, she is my fiancée. He pulled Lin Ziyun close, his arm encircling her waist, a declaration of ownership for all to see. Lin Ziyun stared at him, stunned. A flurry of flashes erupted as the reporters captured the moment. Lin Ziyun wanted to scream. What was this situation? Lin Wan, watching from the sidelines, had witnessed the entire unfolding drama and was practically combusting with rage. She muttered venomous curses under her breath, branding Lin Shi a conniving wretch. Even Xiaolang, standing beside her, flinched at the intensity of her fury. Meanwhile, Zhibing, refusing to back down, continued his slanderous accusations against Lin Shi, goading Gu Jingyan. Lin Shi never mentioned any fiancé. She was just flirting with me backstage. Don't be a fool, Mr. Gu. Don't let her make a cuckold of you. Lin Ziyun, seething with anger, lunged forward, ready to deliver another stinging slap. But Gu Jingyan held her back. He calmly addressed the crowd. Mr. Fu, your mention of backstage reminds me of something interesting I overheard while passing through earlier. If you persist with these accusations, I won't hesitate to investigate further. Both Zhibing and Lin Wan paled. A flicker of unease danced in their eyes. What did he hear? Could Jingyan have heard everything? A reporter seized the opportunity, directing a question at Gu Jingyan. If Lin Shi is your fiancée, Mr. Gu, why haven't we heard of this before? It's a known fact that she's a convicted murderer. Aren't you concerned about the potential damage to the Gu Corporation's reputation? The question echoed Lin Ziyun's own anxieties. With her current status as a convicted criminal, being with him could only bring him disadvantage, a stain on his otherwise impeccable image. Contrary to everyone's expectations, Gu Jingyan remained composed. He calmly countered the reporter, his words measured and precise. You certainly know how to manipulate public opinion. Lin Shi's verdict clearly states involuntary manslaughter. Are you suggesting we should convict her of premeditated murder instead? The reporter doubled down. But public opinion is against her because she did kill someone. Does an extra charge really matter when she's already responsible for a death? Zhibing, watching the scene unfold, felt a surge of satisfaction. Even your silver tongue can't change the fact that Lin Shi is a killer, Gu Jingyan. You can try to spin it however you like, but the truth remains. Despite the relentless attacks, Gu Jingyan remained steadfast. He took Lin Ziyun's hand, reaffirming his stance to everyone present. She's made a mistake, and she's accepted responsibility for it, but she won't be blamed for things she hasn't done. Since her release, she has endured endless gossip and speculation. Whether it's targeted harassment or opportunistic slander, I will investigate every whisper and rumor. His gaze sharpened. As for you, Gu, he continued, his voice hardening, using Lin Ziyun's name to deceive Lin, she will not be tolerated. She is under my protection. Lin Ziyun's heart swelled with a mixture of surprise and gratitude. She hadn't expected him to defend her so fiercely, so publicly. Xiaolang, trembling with rage, cursed Lin Shi under her breath. That two-faced bitch. Seeing Lin Wan abruptly leave the crowd, Xiaolang called after her. Wanyan, where are you going? It's not over yet. But Lin Wan was already gone. Gu Jingyan's unwavering defense of Lin Shi had been the final straw. Just you wait, Lin Shi, she vowed, her eyes blazing with fury. I won't let you get away with this. Back on stage, Gu Jingyan held Lin Ziyun close, his arm a protective shield around her. He addressed the remaining crowd, his voice calm but firm. It seems Vice President Fu has some explaining to do. We'll excuse ourselves now. With that, they turned and left, leaving a stunned Bing to face the barrage of questions from the relentless reporters. Once safely inside the car, Gu Jingyan turned to Lin Ziyun. I know you must have questions after what just happened. There were too many reporters outside. We'll talk once we're away from them. Let's go to my place first. As he fastened his seatbelt, he continued to speak, trying to explain the situation. He paused, glancing over at her to gauge her reaction. He was startled to see silent tears streaming down her face. Her distress sent a wave of concern through him. He quickly offered her a tissue, his voice filled with anxiety. Don't cry, please. Did I frighten you? Lin Ziyun shook her head, wiping away her tears. No, it's not that. Thank you, Gu Jingyan. The words, filled with genuine gratitude, hung in the air. He looked away, flustered by the intensity of her grateful gaze. He turned his attention back to the road. I didn't know what to do back there, Lin Ziyun confessed. Thank you for helping me. Starting the car, Gu Jingyan replied, it wasn't just about helping you. I owe you an apology for what happened before. It's not that I didn't believe you, he clarified. I just wanted to make sure you were okay. I didn't know what your relationship with Jabing was, but when I saw you backstage, you looked so upset. I thought maybe you hadn't had a chance to tell me everything. Lin Ziyun explained, he was Ziyun's boyfriend and a friend of mine. I couldn't stand to see him betray her like that. There's nothing else between us. Gu Jingyan was silent for a moment before he spoke. Well, now you know the truth. That's something at least. I'm still grateful for your help, Lin Ziyun said. I'll figure out how to explain the fiancé thing. Don't worry. Gu Jingyan added, about half the people in that room were reporters. Do you know who some of them work for? Even if you explain, do you think they'll believe you? Lin Ziyun's voice rose in frustration. Then why did you even say that? Gu Jingyan kept his eyes on the road, explaining it wasn't just about helping you out of that situation. Have you considered who, among those targeting you, was the one who initially set you up? Who's been using this situation to their advantage? There are so many hidden agendas at play. How long do you think you can withstand them alone? Lin Ziyun considered his words, a flicker of understanding and a touch of doubt crossing her face. Are you saying that if they know I'm your fiancé, those who are using this situation against me will be afraid of the Gu family's influence and won't dare to touch me? And the person who hasn't let me go all this time, she trailed off. Gu Jingyan finished her thought, is the one who wants to silence you permanently. So where are we going? Lin Ziyun asked. Gu Jingyan replied, to my place for now. Anxiety creeping back in her voice, Lin Ziyun asked, what about me? What am I supposed to do? Gu Jingyan instructed her to look back. Sure enough, a string of suspicious vehicles trailed behind them. They've been on us since we left the auditorium, he observed, his voice low. They want to confirm whether our relationship is real or not. He continued, if we separate now, their attacks will find weak points. It'll be too easy for them to exploit any inconsistencies. Lin Ziyun's apprehension visibly increased as the gravity of the situation sank in. Gu Jingyan proposed a solution. The best course of action is for you to stay with me. The word stay with me sent a jolt of panic through her. Gu Jingyan, seemingly oblivious to her reaction, continued, a hint of teasing in his voice. People say the eldest daughter of the Lin family is worldly and experienced. Why do you look so flustered? It's just staying together. Heat rushed to Lin Ziyun's cheeks. Feigning a cough to hide her embarrassment, she retorted, flustered. Why would I be flustered about just staying together? As if I'd be afraid of you. Her awkwardness brought a smile to Gu Jingyan's lips. He found her flustered denial endearing. Sometime later, the car pulled up to the Gu family villa. Hidden behind the perimeter wall, the reporters who had been tailing them exchanged excited whispers. They actually went inside together. Let's wait a bit longer. They might come out soon. I've got 2 days worth of snacks ready. I'm not going back to the newsroom without a scoop. Inside the villa, Lin Ziyun spotted the lurking reporters. They really followed us here, she said to Gu Jingyan. When do you think they'll leave? Gu Jingyan's expression remained unperturbed. They don't look like they're going anywhere, he replied. Didn't you see some of them eating sandwiches? Lin Ziyun bristled with indignation. Those shameless, despicable reporters. Her frustrated outburst only amused Gu Jingyan further. He found her indignant sputtering both adorable and foolish. She shot him a glare, which momentarily startled him. He quickly recovered, gesturing around. My house has plenty of rooms. Feel free to choose. But I have one condition. Meanwhile, at the Lin family villa, Lin Wan, still fuming from the events at the charity auction, read the news. Gu Jingyan, CEO of the Gu Corporation, engaged the Lin family heiress with a murder conviction. Good, Lin she seethed inwardly. Good, you stupid Lin Ziyun. I treated you like a sister, and this is how you repay me. Stealing my place. You think your kindness meant anything to Gu Jingyan. Huh, idiot. Her hand trembled with rage as she gripped her phone. Finally, she hurled the phone across the room. Lin Shi, just you wait. I'll make you pay for this. You're going to die. Back at Gu Jingyan's residence, night had fallen. Lin Ziyun and Gu Jingyan stood in the kitchen, silently observing each other. Uncomfortable with the silence, Lin Ziyun finally asked, what do you mean by that condition? Gu Jingyan leaned casually against the counter, arms crossed, watching Lin Ziyun navigate the kitchen. I saved your life once, he began, and I helped you out of a tight spot today. Asking you to cook dinner doesn't seem like too much to ask, does it? Lin Ziyun, unable to tolerate his blatant shamelessness, retorted, how can you be so quick to demand repayment for a little bit of help? Feigning innocence, Gu Jingyan offered her 2 choices. I never claimed to be a noble person. There are reporters swarming outside. You can choose not to cook and go join them. Infuriated by his shameless manipulation, Lin Ziyun muttered provocatively, you wouldn't take me home when I asked, and now you're trying to force me to cook. What kind of person are you? A sudden chill ran down Lin Ziyun's spine as Gu Jingyan's voice hardened. What did you say? He demanded. She quickly backpedaled, and nothing. The truth was, Lin Ziyun couldn't cook, but perhaps Lin Shi's body could, just like that time with the car. A mischievous glint entered her eyes. Fine, she declared, accepting his challenge. I'll show you what I can do. Her confidence, surprisingly, made Gu Jingyan think she might actually pull it off. A while later, Lin Ziyun, inhabiting Lin Shi's body, emerged from the kitchen, beaming with misplaced confidence, carrying a pot. Dinner's ready, she announced. Come and try my culinary masterpiece. Her enthusiasm was slightly unnerving, but Gu Jingyan politely replied, thank you for your hard work. But one look at the contents of the pot had him recoiling. What is this? He asked incredulously. Are you trying to poison me? Lin Ziyun, bewildered, responded, what? You don't like it. Realizing Lin Ziyun's cooking was inedible, Gu Jingyan took over, his hands moving with practiced ease as he prepared a proper meal. Within minutes, a delicious spread of dishes adorned the table. Lin Ziyun stared at the feast, practically drooling. Her chopsticks trembled as she exclaimed, wow, you're an amazing cook. She eagerly sampled a few dishes, her eyes widening with each bite. This is so good, she raved. You're such a good cook, and you still made me try to cook. You're heartless. Gu Jingyan, unfazed by her exaggerated praise, calmly replied, I've helped you so much, and all I asked for was a meal cooked by you, and you tried to poison me. There's nothing more poisonous than a woman's heart. Lin Ziyun, shoveling food into her mouth, retorted, the poisonous woman, Lin Shi, is your future wife. Be careful, I might actually poison you one day. Gu Jingyan, with a playful smirk, challenged her. So, you're saying if I don't want to be poisoned, I have to be in charge of your meals forever. Lin Ziyun paused, then looked at him, a mischievous grin spreading across her face. Exactly, she nodded. Gu Jingyan handed her a napkin. Eat slowly, he advised. You're a wealthy heiress, not someone who's never had a decent meal. Lin Ziyun wiped her mouth, then quipped, if you'd eaten prison food, anything would taste good. Gu Jingyan's movements abruptly stilled at her words. His playful demeanor vanished, replaced by a sudden seriousness. He began to recount a story from his past. I've never eaten prison food, he admitted, but I've known hunger. Lin Ziyun, incredulous, let out a disbelieving laugh. CEO Gu, she scoffed, what kind of joke is this? Undeterred, Gu Jingyan continued. Do you remember when Lin Ziyun saved me? I wasn't CEO of Gu Corporation then. I was shunned, hunted. To avoid being killed, I lived like a stray dog, fighting for scraps with beggars. I was almost beaten to death. A look of genuine sympathy crossed Lin Ziyun's face. She hadn't realized the depths of his past suffering. What happened to the people who hurt you? She asked quietly. These things take time, Gu Jingyan replied. Removing a thorn like that requires patience, enduring the pain. Lin Ziyun sighed, a shared sense of hardship resonating between them. We're in similar situations, she mused. We both came from privilege, and look where we are now. Gu Jingyan's usual playful smirk returned. But at least I can cook, he teased his nominal fiancée. Unlike someone who cooks like she's trying to start a kitchen explosion. Lin Ziyun bristled. Just be careful, she warned, or I might actually poison you one day. Gu Jingyan chuckled, placing some food on her plate. I won't let you die, he said lightly. Not while I'm around. Lin Ziyun paused, momentarily taken aback. To cover her surprise, she turned away, busying herself with her food. Who's talking about dying? She muttered. You can't even let me eat in peace. What's it to you anyway? Gu Jingyan, finding her flustered reaction endearing, simply said, eat slowly. Outside the gates of Gu Jingyan's villa, the reporters who had been lurking since their arrival remained, shivering in the increasingly cold night air. It's freezing. One complained. Why aren't they coming out? Just wait, another replied. They'll have to come out eventually. Hours later, after dinner, Gu Jingyan and Lin Ziyun retired to their separate rooms. As Gu Jingyan lay in bed reading, he heard a strange commotion. Is she making a phone call this late? He wondered. He got out of bed and walked towards Lin Ziyun's room. The murmuring voices grew louder. Please, he heard her say. I'm begging you. Say my mother. No, sister she. A sudden, sharp cry stopped Gu Jingyan in his tracks. What was going on? 3 days later, Gu Jingyan was getting ready for work, tying his tie while listening to his secretary's report on his computer screen. Boss, his secretary pleaded, the board of directors has been in an uproar for 3 days. Gu Jinyan's people are fanning the flames. You need to come back. I can't hold them off much longer. Gu Jingyan finished knotting his tie and turned to the screen. I haven't settled the score with them for trying to have me killed last time, he said coldly. His subordinate on the other end of the line immediately started to dissuade him. Don't settle the score yet. This whole thing has blown up so much it's reached the old man. He'd barely finished the sentence when a shrill cry echoed from downstairs. Gu Jingyan, I am hungry. The words had barely left Lin Ziyun's lips when his subordinate became overly enthusiastic, peppering him with questions. Whoa, is that sister-in-law? You guys are really living together. Nice one, boss. You even managed to snag a genuine little sister. Come on, spill the beans. What have you two been up to these past few days? Why haven't you said anything? Tell me. Sister-in-law's getting impatient. Faced with this barrage of questions, combined with the shouts echoing up from downstairs, Chef Gu, I'm starving to death. Gu Jingyan didn't even know where to begin. His face darkened considerably. One person was calling him Chef Gu, while another was urging Boss Gu to get back to work. Is that sister-in-law? He was about to explode. To escape the incessant chatter, he abruptly hung up. As for Lin Ziyun, who continued to badger him from below, Gu Jingyan, his face a mask of annoyance, decided to let her starve. Moments later, having finally descended the stairs, Lin Ziyun waved at him, inquiring about the situation. Chef Gu, what time is it? Why haven't you come down to cook yet? Gu Jingyan immediately shot back. The reporters outside have been gone for ages. Why are you still here? Lin Ziyun chuckled, brushing off his question. Don't be so stingy. I'm just having one last meal, courtesy of you. Gu Jingyan looked her over, a flicker of confusion crossing his face. Why are you wearing my clothes? Where are yours? 3 days earlier, when he'd first brought her to his villa, he'd tossed her one of his shirts, telling her, You can borrow this for now. Back in the present, Lin Ziyun explained her predicament. When you tricked me into coming here, I was still in my party dress. I couldn't exactly keep wearing that, could I? Resigned to the whims of this exasperating woman, Gu Jingnian tied on an apron and headed to the kitchen to fulfill her request, grumbling, "Really want to leave, do you? I thought you were happy enough to keep me as your personal live-in chef." Lin Ziyun, already seated at the dining table, waiting expectantly, replied, "I'd love to, but my problems aren't exactly solved. The last 3 days have probably created even more of a mess." Gu Jingnian, busy preparing the ingredients, cautioned, "We announced our relationship, then disappeared from the press. Both the Lin and Gu families are going to react. You need to be prepared for that." Several hours later, as dusk began to settle, the doorbell rang. Lin Ziyun immediately recognized the visitor. Opening the door, she exclaimed, "Sister Chan, you're here." Before she could finish, Yi Chan delivered a sharp rap to her head. "You little traitor. You practically forgot I existed." Lin Ziyun, reeling from the unexpected blow, whimpered, "You'll kill me." Yi Chan retorted, "You think you're the only one who can die. You haven't contacted me for 3 days." Lin Ziyun rubbed her head, laughing nervously. "Sorry, Sister Chan. Everything happened so fast. I dropped my phone at the auditorium and couldn't contact you." Yi Chan's expression turned serious. Leaning against the wall, she demanded, "You think this is funny? Do you have any idea what kind of chaos is happening outside right now?" And so, in the blink of an eye, Yi Chan showed Lin Ziyun the news spreading online. Articles with headlines like "Two men fight over one woman" and "Lin family engagement in chaos." "Heiress entangled with 2 tycoons for 3 days and nights" were trending on social media. These stories were quickly becoming viral sensations. Lin Ziyun, having just finished scrolling through the articles, let out a horrified shriek. "These people, they write as if they were there. It's so far from the truth." Yi Chan, dripping with sarcasm, retorted, "Far from the truth. You're wearing his clothes. Are you sure nothing happened?" Lin Ziyun, feeling utterly wronged, was on the verge of tears. "We were just putting on an act. It was all for show. I didn't bring any clothes, so he lent me his. Besides eating, he spent all his time working in his study." Yi Chan, seeing her friend's distressed and almost comical expression, found it endearing, but quickly regained her serious composure. "What about you? What's your plan?" Lin Ziyun paused, lost in thought for a moment. "I've been thinking. Fu Zibang and Lin Wan working together on that auction. It was all about the money. If I'm not mistaken, Lin Wan intends to use that money to cover the debt in her account." Yi Chan found this explanation puzzling. A pampered heiress like Lin Wan, doesn't she always have her parents footing the bill? Why would she go through Fu Zibang? Lin Ziyun, her brow furrowed in thought, offered an explanation. "Unless she has another reason she can't let her family know about." Yi Chan quickly added, "Well, you ruined the auction. She's not going to let that go easily. You think she's the only one?" Lin Ziyun retorted. Suddenly, the phone on the table rang. The caller was none other than the subject of their conversation, Lin Wan. Speak of the devil. The two friends exchanged a knowing look, a silent, understanding passing between them. Lin Ziyun answered the phone, and Lin Wan's frantic voice immediately filled the air. Sister Ziyun, are you still mad at me about the other day? It was all my fault, but Mother has already scolded me. I promise I'll respect you from now on, big sister." The words dripped with false sincerity. Yi Chan leaned in and whispered, "Is she brain damaged?" Lin Ziyun shook her head. "How would I know?" On the other end of the line, Lin Wan continued her performance, feigning humility. "I really do want us to be a happy family." Lin Ziyun, clearly unimpressed, cut her off. "Cut the crap, Lin Wan. What do you want?" Lin Wan's voice became urgent. No, don't be like that. Father's birthday is in 2 days. We're having a party. A lot of important people from the business world will be there. You and CEO Gu just announced your relationship. You have to come. Don't let people think you've forgotten your family just because you've snagged a rich husband. You have to come, my dear sister." Lin Ziyun coldly agreed. "Fine, I'll be there." Meanwhile, Lin Wan, a sinister glint in her eye, clutched a small pill in her hand. Clearly, she had something far more devious planned. Back at Gu Jingnian's villa, as soon as Lin Ziyun hung up, Yi Chan, her face etched with worry, asked, "You're really going?" Lin Ziyun remained firm in her decision. Yi Chan immediately scolded her. "Are you stupid? It's obviously a trap." But Ziyun repeatedly reassured her close friend, "Don't worry. With my current status, they wouldn't dare to recklessly lay a finger on me." Yi Chan was practically fuming. Finally, she gave up arguing. "Fine, Do whatever you want. I give up, but you have to be careful, okay? If there's any danger, you must contact me immediately. As she spoke, she winked conspiratorially, like a silent guardian watching over Lin Ziyun. Ziyun was so touched, she nearly burst into tears. She wanted to rush over and hug Yi-chan, gushing, "Yi-chan, you're so warm. I want to marry you." Yi-chan quickly pushed her away with all her might, repeatedly warning, "Stay away from me." 2 days later, the day of Lin Lao Jia's birthday party finally arrived. He stood beside his beloved daughter, Lin Wan, raising his glass and addressing the distinguished guests. "Thank you all for taking the time to attend my birthday party. I'm honored to have you all here today. Please forgive any shortcomings in our hospitality. Enjoy yourselves." At that moment, a guest approached Lin Lao Jia, offering effusive congratulations. "Congratulations, Mr. Lin, on your double happiness. Your career and family are both flourishing." Lin Lao Jia, puzzled by this remark, clinked glasses with the guest and inquired, "Haha, you're too kind. But what double happiness are you referring to?" Before he could finish his question, the guest smiled knowingly and got straight to the point. "Don't play coy with me. Everyone knows that Gu Jingyan has become your son-in-law. With CEO Gu as your son-in-law, the Lin family's business empire is sure to expand." Lin Lao Jia was completely taken aback. No one had informed him of this development. To save face, he forced a smile and replied, "Haha, what are you talking about?" Meanwhile, in another corner of the party, Lin Wan and her mother seethed with jealousy, muttering spitefully, "We'll see if she actually manages to marry him. Does she even deserve him?" Her mother quickly cautioned her, "The guests today are all important figures. Don't cause any trouble." Lin Wan reluctantly nodded. "Yes, mother." Elsewhere in the party, the wealthy young ladies gossiped excitedly about the supposed union between the Lin and Gu families. Each one seemed disgruntled. "Can you believe it? A tycoon like CEO Gu, why would he choose Lin Ziyun? Wei Wei, you're CEO Gu's cousin. Do you know any inside information? Tell us." Gu Wenwei, the Gu family heiress and Gu Jingyan's cousin, also a close friend of Lin Wan, took a sip of her wine and scoffed. "Inside information. My brother must have been tricked by Lin Ziyun. What wouldn't someone like her do?" The other young ladies chimed in. "I heard that because of her, the Gu Corporation was investigated by the police these past few days. Didn't you notice that the vice president and Xia Lang aren't here today? And Lin Ziyun isn't here either. She's so smug usually. Why isn't she here today?" Gu Wenwei replied dismissively, "Maybe my brother dumped her already. She probably doesn't have the face to show up." The curiosity wasn't limited to the young ladies. Lin Lao Jia's business partners were also wondering aloud, "Why don't we see your daughter and CEO Gu?" Lin Lao Jia stammered nervously, how? Just then, Lin Wan cut in. "Oh, you don't know my sister. She's gotten quite high and mighty now." Before Lin Wan could finish her sentence, Lin Ziyun, resplendent in a sapphire blue evening gown that balanced magnificence with a touch of allure, appeared and cut her off. "High and mighty. Don't be so quick to judge. When she called me, she was all sweetness and light, calling me dear Gigi. But the moment I'm out of sight, she's telling everyone I'm too good for her." Faced with this pointed challenge, Lin Wan could only fall silent. Her mother quickly stepped in, putting on a show of gentle reproach. "This child, she's always been so careless with her words. Gigi, please don't take it to heart." But Lin Ziyun, also known as Lin Gigi, completely ignored her, turning instead to present her gift to Lin Lao Jia with a smooth explanation. "I'm so sorry I'm late, father. Please don't mind. Jing Yin is incredibly busy and couldn't get away, so he specifically asked me to bring you this gift." One of Lin Lao Jia's business partners immediately spoke up in support. "CEO Gu is always so busy. We understand completely. He's never been able to attend any of our gatherings. It's understandable, a young man with such talent." Lin Lao Jia and his wife quickly chimed in with 4 smiles. Yes, of course. "Huh, we don't mind at all, Gigi. We're so happy you can make it." Lin Ziyun felt a wave of disgust at their blatant hypocrisy. The father, all humble deference. The stepmother, all gentle kindness. It was a sickening performance. Such good actors, she thought to herself. The business partner continued to sing her praises. "Gigi, you've blossomed into such a beautiful young woman. No wonder CEO Gu is smitten. With an older sister like you paving the way, your younger siblings will surely follow in your footsteps." Just then, Lin Ziyun's gaze swept across the room, landing on Qin Jiang, sitting alone in a secluded corner, nursing a glass of wine. 1,000 questions flooded her mind. What was he doing here? He hadn't contacted her since she'd rejected him. While he was close to Gigi, their families weren't connected. Who had invited him? Lost in thought, she walked over and picked up a glass of wine for herself. Raising her glass, she addressed Lin, Lao Jia's business partners. You're all too kind. This is to thank you all for coming to celebrate my father's birthday. Her grace and quick wit charmed them instantly, and the compliments continued to flow. Excellent, excellent. Lin Zong's daughter is truly exceptional. Ha! Lin Ziyun drained her glass in one smooth motion and excused herself. If you'll excuse me, gentlemen, I see a friend I'd like to catch up with. They readily agreed, waving her off. Go on. Young people have nothing to talk about with us old fogies. As she made her way towards Qin Jiang, she was unknowingly observed by Lin Wan, who quickly excused herself to follow. If you'll excuse me, gentlemen, I'll be right back. Go on, they replied. Lin Wan headed straight for the bar, grabbing a random glass. She surreptitiously slipped some sleeping pills into the drink, her plan taking shape. Reaching Qin Jiang, Lin Ziyun greeted him playfully. Who upset our Qin Da Xiao? Tell me, so I can share in the fun. Qin Jiang seemed to ignore her, drinking continuously. Finally, pausing, he turned to her with a question. Such a big engagement, and you didn't tell me. Do you even consider me a friend? Lin Ziyun was taken aback by the question. Even she hadn't known the engagement would happen so quickly. How could she possibly explain it to Qin Jiang? Before she could formulate a response, Qin Jiang pressed on. So tell me now. At that very moment, Lin Wan appeared, calling out sweetly, Gigi. She placed a glass of wine in front of Lin Ziyun, urging her to drink. I didn't finish what I was saying earlier. I was just teasing you, but you got angry before I could explain. I guess I was wrong. Lin Ziyun's suspicion flared. What's she up to now? She wondered, eyeing Lin Wan warily. Lin Wan offered the drugged wine to Lin Ziyun with a saccharine smile. Please accept this drink as an apology. Gigi, don't be mad at me. Just as she finished speaking, Qin Jiang snatched the glass and downed its contents in one gulp, leaving Lin Wan stunned. He handed the empty glass back to her, challenging anything else. Although her plan had been thwarted, Lin Wan considered it a partial success. She quickly excused herself. That's all. You two talk. I'll be going now. As she turned to leave, a surge of malicious glee coursed through her. I won't bother you anymore, she thought, a silent prayer for their downfall. And indeed, just a few minutes later, Qin Jiang was visibly intoxicated. Lin Ziyun, struggling under his weight, helped him towards a room to rest. He mumbled incoherently along the way. Gigi, tell me, what do they have that I don't? Lin Ziyun, straining with the effort, tried to soothe him. You're better than them, much better. Don't cause trouble. Watch your step. She scanned her key card to open the door. Qin Jiang stumbled in, slurring. Tell me, I'm so handsome and charming. Why wouldn't you choose me? Lin Ziyun couldn't help but retort. Even drunk, you're still obsessed with yourself. How much did you drink? Lie down and rest. I'll get you some water. As she turned to leave, Qin Jiang grabbed her wrist, his grip surprisingly strong. Gigi, don't go. I won't let you go. Lin Ziyun winced. This hurts. How can a drunk person be so strong? She thought, panicking. To calm him down, she stroked his hair. Jiang, you're drunk. Rest tonight. We can talk tomorrow. Before she could finish, Qin Jiang cried out, cutting her off. Tomorrow. I don't want to wait until tomorrow. I want it now. He shoved her onto the bed, his intentions fueled by the drugs, and began to assault her. Lin Ziyun screamed in fear and pain. Stop. It hurts. Let go. With a last shred of coherence, Qin Jiang released her, looking confused. Gigi. Lin Ziyun seized the opportunity, urging him to stand. Jiang, get up. But the drugs were taking hold, and Qin Jiang felt a wave of heat wash over him, his mind clouded and dizzy. He lunged at her again. Terror seized Lin Ziyun. What's wrong with you? She cried. This isn't like you. Her eyes widened suddenly, a horrifying realization dawning on her. It was the moment when Lin Wan had brought the 2 glasses of wine, clearly intending to trap her. And Qin Jiang had snatched one and drained it in a single gulp. Now, with a violent rip, he tore at her clothes. Lin Ziyun's terror escalated. She screamed, desperate to break through to him. Hey, Qin Jiang, are you crazy? Qin Jiayong, stop it, stop. Her scream was a desperate plea. She used every ounce of strength she possessed, hoping against hope to reach his clouded mind. The sound seemed to momentarily halt his assault. He stared at her, his breathing ragged, a strange confession tumbling from his lips. Gigi, you don't know how much I've always liked you. Just as he leaned in to kiss her, poised on the precipice of a horrific act, Lin Ziyun grabbed a nearby table lamp and swung it with all her might, striking him hard on the head. It was the only way she could think to save herself. She shoved him off, gasping, "I'm sorry. I had to." Realizing she couldn't stay there, she scrambled to her feet and ran for the door. But it wouldn't open. Damn it, locked from the outside. My phone. I dropped it in the hall. Qin Jiayong must have his. She frantically searched his pockets. There it was. This guy might be unreliable, she thought, but at least he has his phone. Her relief was short-lived. The phone was dead. All hope seemed to drain away in an instant. She had to try something else. Her shoulder ached from where he'd shoved her. She spotted a landline and rushed towards it, only to find the cord cut. Lin Wan had thought of everything. This wasn't just a coincidence. She'd known it was a trap, but she hadn't expected Lin Wan to drug Qin Jiayong. Lin Wan, you're playing dirty, she thought, a chilling realization gripping her. Hours later, dawn broke. At Gu Jingnian's villa, Yi Chan, having kept vigil all night, grew increasingly anxious. There was no word from Lin Ziyun, and her phone was dead. A knot of worry tightened in Yi Chan's stomach. Where is she? She's been gone all night. She dialed Lin Ziyun's number, only to be met with the automated message. The number you have dialed is currently switched off. There was nothing else to do but go to the party herself. Something was wrong, terribly wrong. Meanwhile, in the room where the chaos had unfolded, Lin Ziyun, after a brief, fitful sleep, was jolted awake by a commotion outside. Then, suddenly noticing Qin Jiayong sleeping soundly on the bed, she wondered, how did I end up sleeping like this? The moment she stepped outside, she looked down. Below was a sea of people, a restless, noisy crowd clamoring in front of the building. Realizing the gravity of the situation, she rushed back in to wake Qin Jiayong. Qin Jiayong, wake up, don't sleep anymore. But Qin Jiayong, still half asleep, mumbled, what is it, Gigi? Lin Ziyun didn't have time for explanations. No time to explain. We have to get out of here. Qin Jiayong, still groggy, questioned what's going on? He glanced at the disheveled bed, a flicker of fear in his eyes. He turned to Lin Ziyun. Did we sleep together last night? Lin Ziyun's anger flared. Sleep together? You were drugged. I thought you were just drunk, so I brought you here to rest. I didn't know someone locked the door. Now there are reporters everywhere. This is all planned. We have to go. The door was locked from the outside last night. I couldn't open it alone. Let's try together. The moment they managed to open the door and step outside, a barrage of camera flashes exploded around them. Reporters jostled each other, shouting, "They're out. They're out. It's them." There was no denying it now. Lin Wan's plan had worked perfectly. Even 100 mouths couldn't explain this away for Qin Jiayong and Lin Ziyun. The reporters snapped photos, bombarding them with questions. "Miss Lin, did Mr. Gu know about this? Miss Lin, Mr. Gu, you just got engaged. Are you breaking up already? Have Miss Lin and Mr. Qin been together for a long time?" Qin Jiayong couldn't offer any explanation. He could only shield Lin Ziyun from the onslaught, yelling, "Excuse me. Make way." Suddenly, someone yanked down Lin Ziyun's jacket, revealing the bruise on her shoulder and the torn fabric to the cameras. The reporters went into a frenzy. "Look, proof. It's real." Lin Ziyun stood frozen, unsure what to do. Qin Jiayong addressed the reporters. "Please make way. We have nothing to say." Just when all hope seemed lost, Yi Chan roared up on a motorcycle, yelling, "Get out of the way if you don't want to die." She looked at Lin Ziyun. "Get on, get on." A flicker of hope ignited in Lin Ziyun. The reporters tried to block their escape. "Stop them. Don't let them run." Qin Jiayong and Lin Ziyun jumped on the motorcycle and sped away with Yi Chan, leaving the reporters in their dust. Within minutes, the news of Lin Ziyun's supposed affair was plastered all over the media, accompanied by clear photos of her leaving with Qin Jiayong. Across social media, comments flooded in. "Wow, what a slut. With evidence like this, she's a modern-day Pan Jinlian. My heart aches. CEO Gu is such a good man, and she rejects him. Does she think he's not rich enough? I heard the man she cheated with is some rich young master. She's just playing the field, not letting anyone go." Gu Jingyin must be blind to marry that kind of girl. A barrage of comments continued to attack Lin Ziyun. Meanwhile, Gu Jingyin, working in America, quickly ordered his subordinate, Xiao Gui, book me a flight back home. I have some matters to attend to. But his assistant tried to dissuade him. No, sir, you can't. The company executives know about you and Miss Lin. They're calling for an emergency meeting. They insist you stay at the company. Gu Jingyin, though frustrated, reluctantly agreed. Fine, I understand. Just then, another subordinate rushed into his office, yelling, Boss, something's happened. Have you seen the news about your sister-in-law? She's been caught red-handed. The moment he finished speaking, he glanced at his boss's face, which had darkened considerably. Realizing his outburst, he quickly composed himself and cautiously asked, So what should we do? The whole company knows you want to go back. Gu Jingyin thought for a moment, then ordered, Go back. Why should I go back? She caused this mess. Let her deal with it herself. He then tossed a stack of files at his subordinate. Prepare the meeting room. The old geezers will be here soon. Organize these for me. Clutching the files, the subordinate trailed behind Gu Jingyin, reminding him, Boss, they're really bashing your wife online. What if she can't handle it? He really wanted to add, looking at these files, I have a problem I can't handle right now, too. Despite his outward indifference, Gu Jingyin felt a flicker of unease. Meanwhile, after rescuing Lin Ziyun and Qin Jiayong from the reporters, Yi Chan began questioning them. Didn't you know it was a trap? Why did you cause such a big scene? Flustered, Lin Ziyun explained, I didn't think they would target Jiayong. But why were you even there? Qin Jiayong quickly explained, I received an invitation. I was worried you wouldn't be able to handle that kind of party, so... Before he could finish, Yi Chan's anger flared. You were worried she couldn't handle it, so you want to make things worse. Qin Jiayong shrank back, looking pathetically small. Seeing no one coming to his defense, Lin Ziyun intervened. Sister Chan, don't blame him. Let's figure out what to do first. Yi Chan offered a suggestion. Get Gu Jingyin to handle it. Isn't he your fiancé? But Lin Ziyun hesitated. I don't know what he'll think after reading the news. Qin Jiayong quickly offered. I'll explain everything to the media. They'll surely give the Qin family face. Yi Chan scoffed. Give a family face, not you. Will your family even agree? Qin Jiayong fell silent, realizing he hadn't considered that. Then, Yi Chan began advising Qin Jiayong, you should leave first. If those paparazzi get pictures of us together, it'll be even harder to explain. Qin Jiayong disagreed, standing up in protest. No, what will you do if I leave? This is my fault. I won't let you bear the burden alone. Just then, a phone call came in, draining the color from his face. The caller was none other than his esteemed grandfather, the patriarch of the Qin family. Sure enough, as soon as he uttered the words, Grandpa, the other end of the line erupted with pent-up fury. You rascal, get home right now. It seemed Qin Jiayong was in for a world of trouble. Clearly, this powerful figure still held the #1 spot in Qin Jiayong's heart. With just a single shout, he was off, practically flying back to the Qin residence. Yi Chan then continued discussing strategy with Lin Ziyun. He's gone, but public opinion is still very unfavorable to you. Do you have a plan? Lin Ziyun, focused on her laptop, replied casually, I think I'll have to trouble you to investigate that hotel. I have a feeling there might be some clues there. Yi Chan then asked, what about you? Lin Ziyun, seemingly excited by the game, offered a solution. I'll stir up public opinion and let them fight amongst themselves. Meanwhile, at Gu Jingyin's company headquarters in America, a meeting was underway to discuss how to handle the current situation. Gu Jingyin continued to monitor public opinion online. The top 3 trending searches were the hidden truth behind Lin Ziyun's affair, Gu Jingyin cheated on, and then a series of comments questioning the truth behind the situation. Some speculated that Lin Ziyun and Qin Jiayong were just good friends, and someone was maliciously slandering them. Good enough to share a room. Some sarcastically commented. This reasoning wasn't convincing. Lin Ziyun and Gu Jingyin just announced their engagement, and this happened so quickly. Clearly, someone planned this. Indeed, Gu Jingyin only needed to read a few lines of the news to recognize his little vixen's handiwork. At that moment, the company's shareholders were pressing Gu Jingyin about the situation. They were all tense, demanding, CEO Gu, please explain the issue we just raised. Gu Jingyin remained calm, asking them, "Explain what?" The shareholders continued their interrogation. "What's the deal with your engagement to Lin Ziyun? Why didn't you consult the board? Now Lin Ziyun is having an affair back home. Is the entire Gu Corporation supposed to clean up your mess?" Gu Jingyan listened, seemingly unfazed. He calmly asked, "So what do you want?" A shareholder quickly offered a solution. "Immediately issue a statement canceling your engagement with Lin Ziyun. Protect the company's image." Hearing this suggestion, Gu Jingyan glared at them, clearly disapproving. Meanwhile, at home, Lin Ziyun's younger brother questioned her through the computer screen, full of doubt. "Sister, are you sure about this? There are people online cursing you." Lin Ziyun calmly countered, "I didn't post this to prove my innocence. I want to stir things up. If one person expresses doubt, others will surely follow." At this point, her naive younger brother quickly grasped his sister's intentions and immediately added, "So you mean lead public opinion around a few times, make them contradict themselves, and then they won't target you anymore?" Lin Ziyun nodded in agreement and continued, "Right, but that's not enough. We still need to wait for Yi Chan to find evidence." As if on cue, Yi Chan returned, holding a file of collected evidence. She quickly reported, "I'm back. You guessed right. The door to the hotel room you were in had been tampered with. The phone line was also cut. These are the relevant records I investigated." Yi Chan immediately handed the file to Lin Ziyun. Lin Ziyun quickly took it and carefully examined the collected evidence. "This is great. As long as we present this evidence and Qin Jiayang's side coordinates with some reporters, we might just..." Before she could finish her sentence, her younger brother interrupted, stunned. "Oh no, sister. Look at this." Both Yi Chan and Lin Ziyun quickly opened the news. An article titled "Cheating Scandal Takes Another Turn" appeared. It claimed Lin Ziyun used Qin Jiayang to gain attention. Qin Jiayang, attempting to clear his name, had witnesses testify that he was drinking alone. Then, Lin Ziyun supposedly helped him upstairs to rest. At that time, Qin Jiayang was clearly drunk. Yi Chan, after reading the news, added, "The reporters also found out that the hotel room doorknob was broken and could only be opened from the outside." Qin Jiayang said that after entering the room, he passed out. There was no inappropriate physical contact between the two of you. But because the lock was broken, you couldn't get out, so you were forced to stay together overnight. The Qin family suspects Lin Ziyun took this opportunity to call reporters, wanting to use Qin Jiayang to attract attention. As these lines of news spread, Lin Ziyun froze. She, the victim in this story, was now being suspected as the mastermind. Meanwhile, at the Qin residence, Qin Jiayang was furiously banging on his grandfather's door. "Lin Ziyun and I were framed. Why don't you believe me? Do you want me to just hide like a turtle?" Inside the living room, Elder Qin was discussing strategies with his subordinates to resolve this unwanted commotion. His secretaries reported, "We just sent away the third group of reporters. That should be enough." Elder Qin thought for a moment and then made a decision. "Listen up, everyone. For 3 days, he's not allowed to leave the house. Cut off his phone and internet access. No one is allowed to contact him except for the person delivering his meals." His subordinates nodded in agreement. "Yes, sir." Elder Qin continued to express his annoyance about the commotion surrounding Lin Ziyun. Who does Lin Ziyun think she is? She's been useless since she was a child. What decent girl spends her days dressed up, flaunting herself around the world? Not to mention, she's a murderer. Hearing this, Qin Jiayang, still outside the door, banged on it repeatedly, refuting these false accusations. "Grandpa, Lin Ziyun went to jail because she was framed." But Elder Qin wasn't easily swayed. He retorted with clear displeasure, "Framed? Who would frame her? The eldest daughter of the Lin family. Who would dare?" Qin Jiayang stood outside the door, shouting himself hoarse, desperately trying to defend Lin Ziyun's innocence. Who else could it be? The Lin family has always treated her poorly. She was closest to Lin Ziyun. Why would she randomly stab her own sister? The Lin family is wealthy. The stepmother and stepdaughter are still alive and well. If the other two died, who would benefit the most, Grandpa? Don't you understand? But no matter how much he explained, Elder Qin remained utterly indifferent, repeatedly dismissing him with a harsh tone. That's their family's business. It has nothing to do with you. Reaching his limit, Elder Qin slammed his cane on the floor, abruptly standing up. He used all his authority to reiterate his stance to his useless grandson. "You are the eldest grandson of the Qin family. I will not allow you to get involved with that chaotic family again. You will stay home and behave. Without my permission, no one is to let him out. Elder Qin's display of power sent shivers down the spines of his subordinates. Meanwhile, confined to his room, Qin Jiayong continued to plead, "Grandpa, Grandpa, let me out. Grandpa, Grandpa." At this moment, all hope within Qin Jiayong was extinguished. His helpless fist, resting on the door, slowly slid down. He silently apologized to Lin Ziyun. "Ziyun, I'm so sorry." Back with Lin Ziyun, after being splashed with a bucket of dirty water, the atmosphere suddenly became eerily silent. Lin Ziyun remained silent. Yi-chan, sitting beside her, boldly speculated, Qin Jiayong saying that is like washing his hands of the whole thing. Now all the blame is directed at you. What's he playing at? Is that brat tired of living? Yi-chan spoke, angrily cracking her knuckles. But Lin Ziyun kept a cool head, silently pondering the truth behind it all. It might not be him. The Qin family is controlled by Elder Qin, and he's always disliked me. Yi-chan continued to probe, so what do we do now? Do we still send out the evidence? Lin Ziyun thought for a moment before replying. Public opinion is against me right now. If we send out the evidence, I'm afraid they'll say it's a trick I devised to frame Qin Jiayong. Yi-chan, after much deliberation, returned to their initial plan. Should we contact your fiancé and have him step in? Her younger brother, on the other end of the video call, became curious and urged her, "Yeah, you haven't told me about your brother-in-law yet." The moment those words left his mouth, Lin Ziyun flew into a rage, grabbing a pillow as if to smother him through the computer screen. She yelled, "Brother-in-law, me and him, we have a business arrangement. The engagement is just a strategy." "A strategy? Do you understand?" Lin Ziyun's fierce reaction startled her brother, who pleaded, Sis, calm down." Yi-chan had to intervene, pulling Lin Ziyun back and preventing any further outbursts while trying to soothe her. Okay, it's a strategy. But now you're in trouble. Why can't her business partner help?" Lin Ziyun considered this for a moment before explaining to Yi-chan, "I'm afraid I've already caused him enough trouble. I'm not sure he'd be willing to help me." At this point, Lin Ziyun's younger brother, Lin Yintuan, on the other end of the video call, finally spoke up. "How can we just leave you hanging? He himself said you're his fiancé. Helping you now is helping himself. It's better than tacitly admitting he's been cheated on. Besides, hasn't Qin Jiayong already withdrawn from this whole mess? It shouldn't be difficult for him to speak up for you." As soon as this strategy was proposed, Lin Ziyun was surprised, exclaiming, "Wow, Yintuan, you're pretty smart. The Qin family is clearing this up, proving that I have no inappropriate relationship with Qin Jiayong. If Gu Jingyan helps me, showing that he trusts me, our stable relationship will make everything much easier to resolve." Thinking this, she immediately picked up her phone to call a crucial person. Meanwhile, at Gu Corporation headquarters in America, after facing a barrage of questions from the board members, Gu Jingyan began to express his disagreement. "Lin Ziyun is my woman. You expect me to just cut ties with her because you say so. Regardless of public opinion, it's just a small matter. Money can solve it. You've all been in business for so long. Don't you understand this simple logic?" Just then, a seemingly elderly board member slammed his hand on the table and stood up, bluntly refuting Gu Jingyan's viewpoint and giving him two choices. Either you immediately cut ties with her or you resign. Gu Jingyan, upon hearing this, merely furrowed his brow and retorted, "What if I choose neither?" He slowly walked towards the elderly board member, closing the distance between them in a provocative manner. As expected, the elderly board member was left speechless. The atmosphere grew incredibly tense. Just then, Gu Jingyan's phone rang. The elderly board member, unsure how to react, flew into a rage. He waited until Gu Jingyan answered the call before swatting the phone out of his hand, shattering it into pieces. On the other end of the line, after hearing the sudden noise, Lin Ziyun mistakenly believed Gu Jingyan had hung up on her. It seemed her last glimmer of hope had been extinguished. After the phone call, Lin Ziyun's mood became even more unstable. She lowered her head, remaining silent for a moment. Seeing his sister's distress, Lin Yintuan, on the other end of the video call, immediately tried to comfort her. Maybe brother-in-law had something urgent come up, but Yi-chan, standing off to the side, couldn't hold back any longer. She snatched the pillow from Lin Ziyun's hands and scolded her. "Enough, Lin Ziyun. Since when did you become so weak? Fight fire with fire. Isn't that what you always say?" Faced with Yi-chan's outburst, Lin Ziyun, her expression blank, calmly reflected on everything. Memories flooded back. Years ago, when Lin Ziyun and her older sister, Lin Shi, were still young, they were incredibly close, always playing together. Once, when she was alone and being bullied by a boy, her older sister, Lin Shi, appeared like a savior, standing protectively in front of her. And repeatedly warned the boy, "If you dare bully Ziyun again, I'll beat you every time I see you. Get lost." After successfully dealing with the troublesome brat, Lin Shi continued to wipe away the tears on her younger sister's face and began to advise her, "The weaker you are, the more others will bully you. Next time they bother you, fight back. Give them a taste of their own medicine, understand." These words, spoken by Yi Chan in the present, were the same words Lin Shi had used years ago. At this point, Lin Ziyun seemed to regain her spirit. After a moment of silent contemplation, she spoke up, suggesting, "Yi Chan, let's go." Lin Yintuan, on the other end of the video call, looked surprised, not understanding their plan. He immediately blurted out, "Wait, where are you guys going?" Lin Ziyun's voice regained its usual strength. She explained, "Where are we going? We're going to fight back, of course." Lin Ziyun was gradually regaining her initial momentum, ready to retaliate against the injustice she had suffered. Meanwhile, Lin Yintuan continued to yell in vain, trying to dissuade his sister. Sis, don't be impulsive. Think it through. We're done for." With her personality, she's definitely going to do something reckless. "No, I have to talk to Grandpa immediately." His cries were futile. Only their grandfather could prevent the impending disaster. A while later, at a beauty salon, Lin Wei, inside the restroom, was excitedly primping, making herself look even more glamorous. In the blink of an eye, strange sounds filled the room. When she came to, she was surrounded by several men with menacing expressions. Lin Wei, startled awake, cried out, "Who are you? Why did you bring me here? Do you know who I am? Let me go, if you're not careful." Her mouth continued to yell, but her hands were tied, leaving her helpless. Before she could finish her sentence, the strangers abruptly gagged her, silencing her screams. One of them leaned close to her ear and whispered, "If you make any more noise, I won't be so polite. Understand? As for why you're here, you'll find out when you meet our boss." As soon as they finished speaking, they all left. At that very moment, Lin Shi appeared. Seeing her, Lin Wei flinched, looking worried and afraid. Lin Shi calmly sat down on the sofa opposite her and got straight to the point. "I think you can guess why I brought you here, can't you?" Lin Wei's demeanor became flustered and nervous, sweat beading on her forehead as if her guilt had been exposed. Lin Shi calmly poured red wine into a glass and continued to question her. "It seems that asking you directly is pointless." With that, Lin Shi dropped a pill into the wine, mirroring Lin Wei's actions at Elder Lin's birthday party. The pill quickly dissolved. Lin Wei, now terrified, shook her head repeatedly in protest. Seeing her panic, Lin Shi became even more satisfied. She stepped closer, pulling the gag from Lin Wei's mouth. Then, while questioning her, she forcefully poured the entire glass of wine into Lin Wei's mouth. "How does it taste? Is it similar to the wine you gave Qin Jiayang?" Lin Wei forced a drink until she was nearly vomiting, coughed, and sputtered, demanding, "Lin Shi, what are you trying to do?" Lin Ziyun slowly placed her wine glass on the table. Then she continued, "You still don't understand. Let me make it clear. I know you orchestrated everything at the party. The rumors online were also posted by you. Today, I'm not here to negotiate. I'm giving you a choice. 1. Clarify everything. 2. Let those men outside come in and do to you everything you accused me of." Hearing this, Lin Wei's face paled. She immediately shrieked in protest, "Lin Shi, are you crazy?" Lin Shi, however, remained calm and warned her, "Is there anything I wouldn't dare to do? I've already run over one sister. I wouldn't hesitate to add another." Lin Wei, after careful consideration, hadn't anticipated this. Her sister truly seemed to have lost her mind. Left with no other choice, Lin Wei was forced to concede, stammering a confession. I'll tell you everything." Meanwhile, outside the room where Lin Wei was confined, Yi Chan, seeing that everything was going according to plan, thanked the men who had played the role of gangsters. "Thank you for your hard work today. Here is your payment." The men excitedly expressed their gratitude. "Thank you, boss. We're professionals at handling people. If you need anything in the future, please don't hesitate to contact us." With that, they immediately turned to leave, muttering amongst themselves. These girls nowadays are so weak. She spilled everything after just a little scare. Yeah, I didn't even use 30% of my power. After seeing them off, Yi-chan sighed in exasperation at Lin Shi. Earlier, when you were all fired up and dragged me out here, I thought you were going to take drastic measures. Who would have guessed the aphrodisiac was just an effervescent tablet, and the gangsters were hired actors? Lin Shi, you actually left Lin Wei a way out. This gentle approach isn't like the Lin Shi I know. After everything that had just transpired, Yi-chan began to notice Lin Shi's unusual and unprecedented behavior. Lin Shi's act had clearly been effective. Across social media, numerous videos began surfacing with titles like, "The person who spread the rumors about Lin Ziyun. I was wrong. I apologize to Lin Ziyun." These videos captured Lin Wei clearing her sister's name. In the video, Lin Wei explained, "I was the one who spread the rumors about Lin Ziyun's affair. I sincerely apologize to the victim, Lin Ziyun, Mr. Qin Jiayong, and everyone who was deceived. I had a one-sided love for Gu Jingyan and was jealous that Lin Ziyun was engaged to him. I even went so far as to try to sabotage their relationship. So, taking advantage of the chaotic party, I cut the phone line in Lin Ziyun's room, drug her wine, and tampered with the door lock." Lin Wei spoke, her whole body trembling. She continued to stammer, Also, just as she hesitated, unable to bring herself to reveal the full truth, Lin Ziyun pointed towards the door, signaling that if she didn't confess, the men from earlier would quickly return to serve her. Lin Wei immediately began speaking fluently, revealing everything. "I also bribed some reporters to sensationalize Lin Ziyun's scandal. I even hired people to write articles and boost them in search rankings. I know I was wrong." Indeed, at this moment, the entire online community had a dramatic change of heart. They chattered excitedly. "Wow, he's amazing. He managed to catch the culprit. He's incredibly protective of his wife." Disgusting how someone would slander others out of their own infatuation. What a miraculous turnaround. This is huge. I wonder if it's true. This person needs therapy, stat. And just as this news was reaching a fever pitch, the Lin family frantically scrambled to control the situation. They watched Lin Wei's every move in the video. In the video, she said, "I will delete this account and do my best to retract the articles and hired writers. I hope Sister Lin, she can forgive me. Forgive my childish and irresponsible behavior." Immediately, Lin Wei's younger sister gasped and turned to her parents, asking, Is that second sister?" Her mother glared and snapped, "Which eye of yours sees that is Wei Wei? Are you blind?" The younger sister, now anxious, didn't dare to ask any further questions. Just then, their butler rushed in, panicked. "Sir, madam, eldest miss, second miss is back." As soon as he finished speaking, Lin Shi appeared, asserting bluntly, "Whether it's Lin Wei or not, just ask her. She'll tell you." She then shoved Lin Wei from behind, sending her tumbling into their mother's arms. Mr. Lin erupted in fury. "What are you doing? Haven't you caused enough trouble outside? Do you have to bring home too?" Lin Shi goaded them. "Isn't the one causing trouble your precious daughter?" Enjoyed the video. Her stepmother put on a weak facade, pleading, "Cece, I know Wei Wei was ignorant and upset you before, but you can't blame her entirely for something this big. She's your sister." Hearing his wife's pleas, Mr. Lin fanned the flames. "You caused this, and you dare drag your sister into it. Have you no shame?" Lin, she raised an eyebrow, glaring at them. "I have no shame. You lot haven't seen a coffin, have you?" She then pulled out her phone and sent the recording she had made earlier to everyone in the Lin family. As Mr. Lin played the recording, the truth began to unravel. "I spread the rumors about Lin Shi's affair. I sincerely apologize to the victim, Sister Lin Shi and Mr. Qin Jiayong." Lin Shi continued to taunt them. "Why aren't you watching anymore? If you don't want to admit it, fine. I don't mind posting the full video online for everyone to admire and see who's truly shameless." With the situation escalating, Lin Wei had no choice but to cry out, begging her sister, No, I was wrong. I did everything. Please don't post it online." Mrs. Lin scolded her precious daughter before turning to plead with Lin Shi. "How could you do such a foolish thing? Apologize to your sister. Wei Wei is your younger sister. Don't be so hard on her." Seeing Lin Wei bury her face in her arms, sobbing, Lin Shi's frustration simmered. One by one, she listed her younger sister's transgressions. While I was away, she stole my black card. To steal a man, she framed me. When she did these things, did she ever think about the fact that I'm her older sister? I think she feels that I, the eldest daughter of the Lin family, am blocking her path to the Lin family inheritance. These words struck Lin Wei like a dagger to the heart. Mr. Lin, enraged, roared, "Enough of this nonsense. Delete the video immediately. I won't pursue this matter further." Lin Ziyun scoffed at this. "You want to pursue me? I'm here with evidence of Lin Wei's scheme against me, ready to negotiate. Get a grip." Mr. Lin bellowed in exasperation at his seemingly rebellious daughter. "Lin Ziyun, I'm your father. Is this how you speak to me?" Lin Ziyun retorted, bringing up the past. "The moment my mother died, you married this woman and had another child. You abandoned me, never asking after me. Now you want to use your position as my father to pressure me." Too late. Lin Ziyun enunciated each word, making sure he heard her clearly. Her words hit their mark, infuriating him. Mr. Lin screamed, "Get out. Get out of my house." Lin Wei, sobbing, knelt and pleaded with her father. "Dad, she still has the video. If it leaks..." Mr. Lin, suppressing his anger, quickly made an offer. "What do you want?" Lin Ziyun stated her terms. "Two things. Lin Wei's slander against me has been addressed. The other matter, grandfather stated in my mother's will that she left me 20% of the company's shares. You should return them to me." At the mention of this, Mr. Lin paled. His daughter finally knew the truth. But it wasn't just Mr. Lin who reacted to the word will. Lin Wei, too, grew apprehensive. He panicked, immediately denying it. "The will stated that you'd receive them when you were mature enough. Do you look mature now?" Her stepmother chimed in. "Ziyun, company matters are serious. It's better to let your father handle them. Besides, we're family. Does it matter who holds the shares?" Before she could finish, Lin Ziyun cut her off coldly. "Who's family with you? My mother's shares have nothing to do with you." Mr. Lin, resorting to bluster, challenged her. "And if I refuse to give them to you, what will you do?" Lin Ziyun held up her phone, the one containing the recording of their conversation. It was her strongest weapon against their unreasonable arguments. She smiled. "Of course, I can't take them, but I can post Lin Wei's video, along with your words, online. Let everyone see how shamelessly the esteemed Lin Corporation operates." Her words pushed Mr. Lin to the brink of fury. Lin Yintuan, furious, raised his hand to strike Lin Ziyun. At that critical moment, a voice cut through the tension, calling his name. Just in time, it was Gu Jingyan. He immediately and bluntly warned Lin Yintuan to stop. Seeing the newcomer, Lin Yintuan hesitated, his hand frozen mid-air. Gu Jingyan stepped forward, shielding Lin Ziyun. He looked directly at Lin Yintuan. "Were you about to hit my fiancée?" Lin Yintuan blustered, trying to justify himself. "This girl is disrespectful and unruly. She shouts at her elders. Can't I discipline my own daughter?" Gu Jingyan's brow furrowed. "You can discipline your daughter, Mr. Lin, but you will not lay a hand on my fiancée." His assertive demeanor eased the tension surrounding Lin Ziyun. He turned to Lin Ziyun, gently stroking her hair. "Are you all right?" Lin Ziyun, startled by his sudden appearance, stammered. Why are you here?" Gu Jingyan reassured her, "Don't worry. Leave the rest to me." He turned back to Lin Yintuan, presenting him with a document. "Mr. Lin, I wasn't planning on interfering in your family matters. However, I happened to meet Ziyun's maternal grandfather, Chun Sheng, in America. This is the will left by Chun Xuan, Ziyun's mother. There were 2 copies made. I presume you have the other one, Mr. Lin. And also, this is Mr. Chen's power of attorney. He granted me full authority to handle this matter." Lin Yintuan took the will, his face etched with bewilderment. Lin Ziyun, equally surprised, asked, "Why did grandfather give Gu Jingyan power of attorney?" Gu Jingyan explained, "The will is clear. When Ziyun turned 18, the 20% of shares under Chun Xuan's name were to be transferred to her. I don't think we should prolong this any further. What do you say, Mr. Lin?" He emphasized each word, leaving no room for misinterpretation. Lin Yintuan's anxiety spiked. He cursed Chun Sheng under his breath. "That damned old man. He said he wouldn't interfere. Why is he meddling now?" He forced a laugh, grasping at straws. Ziyun is still young. She doesn't understand the complexities of running a company. Gu Jingyan remained unmoved. Ziyun is mature and composed. Anything she doesn't understand about the company, I can teach her. Lin Yintuan continued to make excuses. She's irresponsible. She's caused so much trouble over the years. Who knows what she'll do in the future? Gu Jingyan countered. The only trouble Ziyun has caused since she got out of prison has already been clarified online. So, she's not the irresponsible one here. Overwhelmed by anger, Lin Yinton roared, "I know my own daughter. She's caused endless trouble since she was a child. I built Lin Corporation from the ground up. Do you want to see it ruined in her hands?" Gu Jingyan calmly pointed out the flaw in his argument. As I understand it, Lin Corporation was built with significant support from the Chun family. Now, you refuse to return assets belonging to the Chun family to a descendant of the Chun family. That doesn't seem quite right. Lin Yintuan was speechless, utterly defeated. Lin Ziyan couldn't help but smile. It was the first time she had seen her father so thoroughly outmaneuvered. Gu Jingyan turned to her, his expression serious. "Ziyun, let's get down to business." Lin Ziyu nodded. Lin Yinton, looking embarrassed, stammered, "Haha, well, I'm not unreasonable, but it's getting late. I'll bring the documents to the notary office another day. You can rest assured." Gu Jingyan cut him off before he could finish. "How could I possibly trouble you further, Mr. Lin?" He then immediately called his subordinate, Kiaosi Komein. In the blink of an eye, 3 notary officers entered the room, one after another, as everyone watched. Gu Jingyan explained, "I brought the notary officers with me. We can sign everything now." A short while later, the matter was finally settled. That afternoon, Gu Jingyan drove Lin Ziyun back to his home after the tumultuous events. Sitting in the car, Lin Ziyun silently looked at the will and the contracts, thinking to herself, "I actually got it back." Then, she softly spoke Gu Jingyan's name, a question in her voice. "How did you get these documents from my grandfather? Do you two know each other?" Gu Jingyan smiled. "Thanks to your little brother. He rushed to find me, saying you wanted to kill Lin Wei. He also said the security guards couldn't stop you." He delivered this with a playful tone, hitting a nerve with Lin Ziyun. Lin Ziyun inwardly cursed her little brother. "I just didn't tell him where I was going. How did that turn into me wanting to kill someone?" Gu Jingyan continued. "He then took me to meet your grandfather. He told me that the problems in your family stem from this will. He asked me to help you get these back and, incidentally, put an end to your family feud." Delight and excitement danced on Lin Ziyun's face. And then, "Did you agree right away?" she asked eagerly. Gu Jingyan replied, "Of course. I also had Mr. Chan Jiaming help me appease those old geezers. If they had caused trouble, I might not have been able to return to the country yet." Lin Ziyun's excitement deflated slightly at his words. She then hesitantly suggested, "So, everything's resolved now. Do you need to cancel our engagement?" Gu Jingyan seemed uncomfortable at the mention of this. He quickly pulled the car over to the side of the road. After a moment of silence, he questioned her. "It seems you're very eager to erase any connection between us. The auction was the same. Being my fiancé is such a burden to you, isn't it?" He leaned closer as he spoke, his voice laced with reproach. Lin Ziyun panicked, flustered, and denied it. "No, it's not like that, but it will cause you a lot of trouble." Gu Jingyan, still close, made a suggestive request. "Then it's time for you to repay me." Lin Ziyun's eyes widened in alarm, and she tried to put some distance between them. What do you want to do?" "Even though we're engaged, doing that now is too soon. Forcing someone is immoral, and..." Before she could finish, Gu Jingyan suddenly unbuckled her seatbelt. Lin Ziyun was completely dumbfounded. He chuckled. "Come with me to the Gu family home." At this suggestion, she exclaimed in surprise, "What?" However, whether she wanted to or not, in just a few minutes, Gu Jingyan had whisked Lin Ziyun away to the Gu family home. The introductions were awkward on both sides. Holding hands, they approached the already set dining table. A number of Gu family elders were seated, seemingly engaged in lively conversation. Lin Ziyun felt the pressure mounting. So many people, she thought, could I still slip away? But Gu Jingyan's hand tightened around hers, a silent reassurance. Steeling herself, Ziyun approached the table. "Hello, everyone," she announced. "I'm Lin Ziyun." Immediately, a woman with a haughty air and sharp attire spoke, her voice dripping with sarcasm. "Oh, we were wondering who was so ill-mannered. So it's the infamous Miss Lin." Lin Ziyun suddenly remembered Gu Jingyan's warning in the car. "You'll meet a woman named Tang Huilan," he'd said. "My father's second wife. She's sharp-tongued and unpleasant. No need to be polite." True to form, Lin Ziyun thought, "I'm finally seeing it firsthand." Tang Huilan continued, seemingly unwilling to let up. "The Lin family is supposed to be respectable. Didn't they teach you any manners? What kind of girl just walks up to the main table?" Without missing a beat, Lin Ziyun retorted, "The Qing dynasty fell ages ago. And if we're talking about seniority, neither of the branch families should be at the main table." Her words clearly struck a nerve. Tang Huilan was about to lash out again when old Master Gu interrupted. "Ha ha ha. Just like old Chen's granddaughter. Well said. A guest is a guest. There's no need to be so critical. Lin Ziyun carefully observed everyone present. The man who had just spoken was likely Gu Langfeng, the head of the Gu family. He seemed affable enough. Another man at the table quickly chimed in. Indeed, indeed. Everyone knows Ziyun and Jingyan are close. He continued, since you're here, perhaps you can talk some sense into him. I just introduced him to a wonderful young lady, a perfect match, but he wouldn't even meet her. The Gu family is waiting for him to produce an heir, aren't we, elder brother? The man beside him smiled and nodded in agreement. After observing them, Lin Ziyun felt reasonably certain of this man's identity. This must be second Uncle Gu, she thought. Jingyan said he hid the knife behind his smile. He's not wasting any time with the threats. Flustered, Ziyun whispered to Gu Jingyan, Jingyan, who is this? He leaned in and whispered back, second uncle. Lin Ziyun seemed surprised. Huh, no way. She blurted out. Second Uncle Gu looked a little uncomfortable. What do you mean by that? He asked, feigning innocence. Lin Ziyun replied casually, our engagement is public knowledge. Even stray cats and dogs know about it. But your second Uncle Gu, you're so behind on the news. Tang Huilan was instantly furious. How dare you speak like that? She snapped. Do you really think you're some honored guest? Lin Ziyun feigned hesitation, then echoed Old Master Gu's earlier words. Excuse me. Old Master Gu just said I was a guest. If you disagree, you shouldn't be shouting at me. Gu Jingyan watched his fiancé's performance with quiet amusement. This little fox can act, he thought, a sense of satisfaction settling within him. So Tang Huilan continued her tirade, pointing a finger directly at Lin Ziyun's face. Who do you think you are? She shrieked. You think you can just waltz into the Gu family home and act so arrogant? Gu Jingyan turned to her, his voice icy. What did you just say? Gu Jingyan's father hastily interjected. Jingyan, your mother didn't mean it like that. She's just harsh on the outside, soft on the inside. Gu Jingyan stood up, flatly denying his father's words. She's not my mother. I don't share her surname. I came here today to announce that my engagement to Lin Ziyun will not change. So please, don't bother introducing other women to me. I believe grandfather will respect my decision. Old Master Gu Langfeng, chuckled and nodded in agreement. I'm an old man now. My grandchildren have their own lives to lead. I'm happy with whatever Jingyan chooses. Some time passed, and the meal eventually concluded. On the drive back, Gu Jingyan explained the situation to Lin Ziyun, a hint of frustration in his voice. Grandfather was strongly opposed to our engagement. But once he learned your grandfather was the renowned Chun Jiaming in the finance world, he stopped objecting. Ziyun frowned. Then why did I even need to come to your house? Gu Jingyan answered immediately. To make it clear to everyone else, especially my second uncle. He's been vying for control of the Gu Corporation for years. He even went so far as to try to have me assassinated. A flicker of suspicion crossed Ziyun's face. Is that what happened 5 years ago? When you said there were people chasing us before we fell into the sea? She looked at him, her question hanging in the air.